some cloudiness here. It's 47 degrees, a little bit of wind, 10 to 12 miles an hour. There's some sprinkles in the area, but right now, no rain, and that's good. And it's been a great year for Dennis Green. In his 7th season as head coach, his team has now made the playoffs 6 times, and they have high hopes of having home field advantage all the way through. Ted Marchibroda, a lot of people feel this will be it.
Maybe the nicest man in professional football is Ted Marchibroda. What a great guy. I love talking to him.
A disappointing season for the Ravens. Matt Stover gets set to kick it off. Ravens were beaten last week in Tennessee. David Palmer is deep for the Vikings. One of the outstanding return men. And we are underway in Baltimore. Palmer from the 8. Across the 25, where he's brought down. John Williams, number 21, was there. Donnie Brady, number 24. And the tempers are flaring already with some pushing and shoving. And let's take a look at the Minnesota Vikings offense, the best in the NFC, led by Randall Cunningham, who has 27 touchdown passes. That's second in the NFL to Steve Young.
And you look at this offensive line, all of them could go to the Pro Bowl, but Jeff Christie's the guy that calls the plays and makes the blocking schemes.
Leroy Horde playing for the injured Robert Smith. Chris Carter is back after being injured in the first quarter against Chicago last week. Horde trying to find the hole, gets about a yard on the play. Ralph Staten, big, strong, free safety, second-year man from Alabama, made the stop. The Ravens on defense, it's a good defense. Michael McCrary, 13.5 sacks, second in the AFC.
But I think the strength of the entire defense is the linebackers. They can all run, Sam, but they're real young. Ray Lewis is the leader of the 3 sprinters.
Wayne Starks, first-round draft pick, 10th overall, is back as a starter at cornerback. On second down, it's Horde on the draw play. Ray Lewis stopped him in his tracks. Ray Lewis, outstanding middle linebacker.
Well, I talked to Peter Boulware and Jamie Sharper, the 2 young outside linebackers, and they said Ray Lewis is the leader. He's the one that shows them how to study and get prepared to win. And all 3 of those linebackers you'll see today, they can fly around and they can run.
It's 3rd and 11. David Palmer has come in the backfield, along with Charles Evans, 3 wide receivers in. Matthew Hatchett, number 89, is joined Randy Moss and Chris Carter. Carter's in the slot. Cunningham being rushed, got rid of it, and it is complete. It was tipped. Hatchett makes the catch for a first down. Cunningham was hit, the ball was tipped, and Hatchett made a good catch.
Well, when he gets hit, Sam, I'm like you. I'm up here, I'm thinking this could be intercepted. What a way to start. But Hatchett makes a great catch on a deflection. Good pressure on the quarterback. Michael McQuarrie getting him around the waist. Watch Hatchett get the tip and the deflection, gets pushed a little bit. Oh, nice catch. That's full concentration by Matthew Hatchett.
Hatchett much improved. This is second year in the NFL. Worked on his strength in the offseason. And a very valuable man with Jake Reed still out. The play fake on first down. Wide open, the tight end Andrew Glover. Bounced off one man. They stop him at the 35.
Well, they
Ralph Staten made the tackle on Andrew Glover, and look who's shaken up.
Well, they had a zone blitz on him. Talking about the Ravens, they blitzed him and they got to him, and I think he's injured.
Cunningham shaken up on the play.
When you pull your knees up to your chest, it usually means you're out of air. Knock the wind out of you. Let's see how he gets hit. Good pressure, and they got him in the stomach with the shoulder pads. And he's still laid out flat on his back, hoping this is not an injury, that he just got the wind knocked out of him.
2 linebackers hit him, Peter Boulware and Ray Lewis. As they check on Randall Cunningham, Jay Fiedler warms up. Let's see what happened to Randall Cunningham.
Watch the blitz of Peter Boulware. He's going to be tried to be blocked by Charles Evans, 29, and he gets right by Charles Evans. When they hit Randall, they dump him on the ground. Watch Randall grab his tailbone. That's called your coccyx, and he hurt his tailbone.
Jay Fiedler, 3rd-year man out of Dartmouth, is in. He played some last week, and they went over to Chicago with Brad Johnson still inactive. Fiedler on the play fake, throwing, and it's incomplete, intended for Chris Carter.
Dwayne Sparks, nice drive on that ball, Sam. He was coming hard to get in on that play.
Fiedler goes to the sideline as Randall Cunningham comes back. The number one man for the Vikings is okay.
Well, if it is his tailbone, there's nothing you can do for it, Sam, other than you got to work through the pain. They'll put you in a hot bathtub and have you sit on a rubber donut, but there's nothing else they can do to fix a busted tailbone.
On 2nd and 10 from the Ravens 35. Ford and Evans in the backfield. Cunningham gets time. Nobody open. In trouble. Boulware takes him down. Peter Boulware just loves to rush quarterbacks.
Well, Peter Boulware would love to be a defensive end.
That's right.
He doesn't like dropping back into the pass zones. And we got a good chance to talk to Peter Boulware. But this is the new Cunningham. Cunningham at Philadelphia here, Sam, would run and scramble and take the ball upfield. And now you watch this new Cunningham. He's looking somewhere to throw the ball. But Peter Boulware can run like a deer.
8.5 sacks for Peter Boulware. Evans and Palmer in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in. Matthew Hatchett has come in from Minnesota on 3rd and 17. Cunningham. Chris Carter, beautiful catch down to the 24-yard line. That looks like a first down for the Vikings, and it is.
Watch the throw. Sit up in your living room if you're living in Iowa and watch the soft pass. Most people in Iowa are Viking fans. Watch this soft pass, easy catch, lays it right in there, and Chris Carter makes the catch. Makes it look easy the way he throws that football.
Coming back from a calf injury, he had his streak broken last week of 111 consecutive games with a reception. 18-yard pickup, first down Vikings. They have 2 tight ends in. Number 85 is Greg DeLong. Quick throw to Carter, dropped it. Thrown a little low.
Low and soft. Real soft pass there. And that was going to be a wide-out screen, Sam.
What's the key on a play like that?
Well, I thought the wideout would come back more on his side of the line of scrimmage. He just sort of stayed on the line of scrimmage, and I think that threw Randall off. He didn't know how hard to throw it, and he threw it way too soft.
Randall Cunningham will be the number one man for the remainder of the season. Brad Johnson, coming back from a broken thumb, is getting close to returning. Hopes to be the backup quarterback next week. Everybody out. Cunningham looking. Swings it out to Leroy Horde, and he's tackled immediately. Hey, is Peter Boulware having a game already?
And Peter Boulware, we had a great visit with him, sat down and talked to Peter Boulware, and he said, Coach, if we can play Jacksonville Jaguars, why can't we play the Vikings? He said, they're almost identical teams, quarterback, receivers. He said, I know we can play these people if we stay in the game at the beginning.
Peter Boulware, second-year man out of Florida State. It is 3rd and 10, 6 defensive backs in for the Ravens. The Vikings have Palmer and Evans in the backfield and 3 wide receivers. Cunningham throws incomplete. Hatchett went straight down, and Cunningham threw to the sideline. Well, miscommunication there.
No, it's not. I'll tell you what happened. Cunningham read blitz, and it was blitz, but it was zone behind it. So this is the zone blitz. All the blitzers, watch the people in the purple that drop. That's a defensive lineman. That's a defensive lineman. So he thought he was going to get the slant because the linebackers in the secondary blitz. It's a zone blitz, and they confused the quarterback. Nice job by the Ravens.
Now here is the perfect Gary Anderson, who leads the NFL all-time with 408 field goals. He is 23 for 23 this season. Make it 24 for 24. He has now hit his last 29 in a row, too short of the NFL record. From 43 yards, Vikings lead it. So the Vikings score on their opening drive, giving them 45 points on opening drives this season, the most in the NFL. 11 plays, 50 yards, and Gary Anderson with a 43-yard field goal. Mitch Berger to kick it off.
And indoors, one of the best kickoff guys in pro football, but that's indoors. This is on grass, outside, a little different kick.
Leads the NFL with 35 touchbacks. Let's see this kick. Coming down to Corey Harris at the 6. Harris finds an opening, and he's going. And
he's going, Sam. He's going to go.
He's being chased by Tate. He's blocked. Corey Harris, touchdown. Wow. That's his first 95-yard kickoff return for Corey Harris.
in this new stadium, Sam. The crowd is standing at 1. The crowd's going wild.
First return for a touchdown for the Ravens this season.
And Corey Harris is the guy they're going to play in the nickel defense, and they said he could really help him in pass coverage. Look at him put that ball in that one hand. I'd be scared to death he'd fumble it.
Got one big block at the end to cut off Robert Tate, and that was it. The extra point by Matt Stover is good. So just like that, the Ravens come back. Corey Harris takes it to the house.
Patrick Johnson, a rookie wide receiver, is going to come in. There's his feet in the screen, and he cuts off Tate from making the tackle and allowing the 95-yard touchdown return. Nice block by Patrick Johnson, wide receiver.
First kickoff return for a touchdown in Baltimore Ravens history. This their third year.
We see it all, don't we, Sam?
You gotta love it.
It's a game of purple power. Both sides are bringing the purple out.
Matt Stover with the kickoff, and David Palmer comes up to get it at the 8. Palmer goes into the pile and is brought down at the 25-yard line. Good tackle by Benny Thompson. The Ravens leading the Vikings 7-3. The hotel in downtown Baltimore where the Vikings were staying filled with Viking fans.
I've never seen Viking fans on the road. I think they've caught the imagination of really fans all across the country.
On first down from the 25-yard line, Leroy Horde is stopped for a loss. Rob Burnett, the defensive end, number 90, in on the tackle on Leroy Horde. The Vikings are still without Robert Smith, out with a knee injury, but he expects to be back next week. He could have played if this was a must-win game for the Minnesota Vikings. But Smith worked out this week and hopes to play next week. Out of the second down and 11 for the Vikings. Cunningham gets time and he throws deep for Randy Moss, and it is incomplete. Covered by Corey Harris and Dwayne Starks. Double coverage on Randy Moss.
Well, Randy Moss is a long way down the field before the ball ever comes out of Cunningham's hands. Nice play by the safety. Corey Harris gets in on this. Little out and up. Watch 45, Corey Harris trying to help, and he gets his hands on the ball. Had a shot at an interception, and Dwayne Sparks is running stride for stride with Randy Moss.
Vikings have Everett Lindsey, number 61, in at right tackle, replacing Corey Stringer. Third and 11. Everybody out. Cunningham tosses it, and it's complete to David Palmer.
When you said
what a play.
That was like an option toss. Cunningham was running like he was going to keep the football, and Boulware comes up to make the tackle, and he flips it like an option. Going to go to your right. Watch this play. You'll watch Boulware 58 decides he's going to run it. I better come up, and he just lobs it out like an option pass. Real nice play.
He was very close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they may have. We may have to go back.
Very close. It's a first down. Greg DeLong shifting. Cunningham goes to DeLong, the tight end. He's brought down by Staten after a short pickup. About 4 on the play.
Let's go back, Sam. Look at the last play. There's no instant replay other than for you and me. And see if he crosses the line of scrimmage. Looks like they're...
about the 25.
Yeah, about 1 yard this side of the 25.
And... No.
Legal play.
Good play to David Palmer for a first down.
Good call by the official.
2nd and 6 for the Vikings. Again, DeLong shifting. And Leroy Horde carrying. Gets up close to midfield and close to a first down.
And that's the Leroy Horde they have to have. A guy not trying to break a touchdown, a guy just looking for a yard. He said he learned when he played at Cleveland for Bill Belichick, get a yard first. No cutting, no dancing. And he's not big, he's not fast, he's just real productive, and he averages 4.7 a carry.
And he gets to the hole in a hurry. We talked to him about getting to the hole the way his blockers would have to lead for him. He said, you won't believe this, but I get to the hole quicker than Robert Smith. Now, that's Corey Stringer, the right tackle.
Excellent right tackle. They're trying to work on him. Looks like he maybe pulled a groin. When they're working on you like that, you got to pull muscle.
Two tight ends are in. Hunter Goodwin, number 87, along with Andrew Glover. On first down, the rollout by Cunningham. Plenty of time. Goes deep to this side for Randy Moss. And it's incomplete. Wayne Starks covering. Moss was hoping for a call, but doesn't get it. It was single coverage that time.
Well, it's zone blitz underneath, and I think Randall Cunningham ducked to throw it. He feels the blitz. Watch the outside linebackers. They got pressure coming on him. Now watch him duck here a little bit. Oh, he ducked after the throw. He knew people were coming after him. And Dwayne Sparks, they've gone after him all day. That's 22. He got beat on the first cut, so it's a double move, underthrown. Wow, Dwayne Sparks, he could have got...
No, Starks.
Starks
plays for the Giants.
Oh,
we
had him last week. That's it. This is Starks. Woo. Getting too excited.
The Minnesota Vikings have taken a timeout with the Ravens leading the Vikings 7-3. At Philadelphia 7-7. Tampa Bay now 7-7. A race for the final playoff spot in the NFC. On second down, Leroy Horde. No gain. Good job by the Ravens defense as they stop Leroy Horde and stand him up. There's Everett Lindsey, one of the most versatile offensive linemen for the Vikings. He can play all the front line positions. He's playing right tackle now for the injured Corey Stringer.
And I think what's hurting the Vikings is the defensive line is shifting. There's the shift, and they turn it into a 5-man front rather than a 4. And now they got extra people in there to stop the run, and you can see Leroy Horde's running in a whole group of purple jerseys.
Evans and Palmer in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in on 3rd and 10. Vikes are 3 for 4 on 3rd down. Cunningham in trouble. Got rid of it, and it was almost intercepted.
Wow.
Boy,
Cunningham
he made up that play.
Wow. Cunningham was trying that little option flip again, but all kinds of pressure on Cunningham.
Right there, Peter Boulware. He led the way.
Boy, Peter Boulware is playing unbelievable. Peter Boulware is the guy that was Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, and he's putting good pressure on the quarter. Look at that flip. And he almost got it picked off. David Palmer was able to get the ball on the ground. Hey, guess what? We're going to see the first offensive play, maybe, of the game
for the Ravens.
They haven't had their offense in yet.
Mitch Berger to punt it. James Rowe is deep, with Jermaine Lewis still out. Rowe waits for a fair catch, lets it bounce. It goes into the end zone. It's a touchback. 50-yard punt for Mitch Berger. And we will see the Ravens on offense. So let's take a look at the Baltimore Ravens, led by quarterback Jim Harbaugh.
Captain comeback.
12th season. 3 for 6 lifetime, 3 and 6 lifetime against Minnesota. Priest Holmes closing in on 1,000 yards rushing. James Rowe and Floyd Turner in for the injured Michael Jackson and Jermaine Lewis, though Jackson is active today. And they hope to get him in there. Harbaugh.
Vikings defense.
To trade with the Colts.
Vikings defense need to do a pregame warm-up. They've been waiting so long.
Right. In motion, Floyd Turner, number 87. Delay to Priest Holmes. Drop the football. It's loose. Vikings have it. Big turnover for the Baltimore Ravens. Priest Holmes fumbles. Vikings have it deep in Ravens territory.
And this is a draw play where both backs are going to skitter over to the right, wait to the blocking. Just gets the ball stripped right on. Ed McDaniel took the ball right away. He swatted it with his right hand. And you talk about changing game in a hurry. You can't turn the ball over on your side of the field.
Watch 96, Jerry Ball. Did he recover this? No, Robert Griffith and Jerry Ball got there.
Yeah, I think Jerry Ball took it away.
Okay. So he took it away from his teammate.
Took it away from his own guy. He couldn't look around to see who had the ball. He wanted the ball.
10th fumble lost by the Ravens. And now the Vikings from the 28-yard line. The fullback, Charles Evans, gets to the 25-yard line. Pickup of a 3 on the play.
Charles Evans doesn't get to carry very much. That's an unusual play. If you're a Viking fan, you'll wonder, why did he have the ball? It's Leroy Horde usually gets, now he's going on. Now they'll probably go to 3 wides where they got 1 back in the game.
You think we'll ever see the Baltimore offense today? What is this?
We have not seen but 1 play.
Two tight ends in.
There's the shift on the defense.
Or the lone setback. Quick throw to the sideline, complete to Chris Carter, and he's out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17. Looks like he's got enough for a first down.
Well, Starks is pointing at himself. He's way, way off before the ball snap. There's no way he can stop that. He's got to get somebody. You can't tell by here, but that's too far a distance to get there before the ball gets there. He started off like 9 yards cushion, and you can't close a route with a 9-yard cushion.
10th player picked overall in this year's draft, Wayne Starks. Been a little bit inconsistent, but he's back starting. They love his speed. They love his coverage ability. Leroy Horde across the 15, down to about the 12-yard line. Ray Lewis, number 52, the middle linebacker. He's always around the football.
And this is what people in Minnesota are used to seeing. Horde hit it fast and cut it back. He's going to go to the left. There he is. He sees that. A little dance. Come back inside. Gets away from McQuarrie. McQuarrie tried to tackle him with an arm. You won't stop Horde unless your head gets in front.
In the red zone, 26 touchdowns and 44 trips. Evans and Palmer in the backfield. Cunningham looking, pump fake, throwing into the corner for Moss. Incomplete. Covered by Rod Woodson.
Well, sit up on your chair if you're living in Benton, Iowa. That's where the Viking fans live. That's the first throw against Rod Woodson. They've been going after the youngster Stark, so now they try a double move. They think Rod will get after the first move. So it's look at that cushion. Man, I never saw a guy play off that far. Well, they try that. He comes underneath. They're in the end zone. He's got to play underneath, and he shuts him off. Nice job. They didn't want to go after the veteran.
6 interceptions, one of the all-time greats. Rod Woodson played in San Francisco last season. 3 wide receivers for the Vikings. That's Chris Walsh, 81 in motion. On third down, Cunningham looking. Randy Moss scored a little behind him.
Wow, you don't see that much.
No. So the field goal kicking unit comes in as Cunningham has a couple of words with Randy Moss.
And this is going to be a shallow underneath route. A little stutter, and then here he comes underneath. Not very deep. And he was looking around to see where the hitters were coming from. Knew a safety was running, he was going to try to dodge him.
Gary Anderson has now made 29 in a row, dating back to last season, 2 short of the NFL record. This kick is good. Make it 30 in a row, a 31-yard field goal for Gary Anderson. 25 for 25 this season.
Well, if we look at a time of possession right now, Sam, there is no such thing. One offensive play for the Ravens, and that's a fumble turnover on your side.
We have a Fox NFL special coming up on Saturday.
Tell me about it.
And it's coming from Washington. It's Tampa Bay going for a playoff spot against Washington, 5-2 since their bye week. It begins with a pregame show at 3:30, 12:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time, and then we'll be on at 4 o'clock.
Well, that word at the top says special. Don't miss that. Don't go Christmas shopping on that Saturday. This is going to be the best game of the week, and my 2 favorite announcers are doing it, Sam.
Who are they?
It's you and me working on a Saturday.
Oh, man.
We'll be home on a Sunday for the first time since August.
We can watch football on Sunday.
So don't go Christmas shopping on Saturday this weekend. Stay and see Tampa Bay at Washington. It'll be exciting. Sam will be doing the call.
Tampa Bay with a win today over Pittsburgh. They have gotten back to 500 as they drive for a playoff spot. Very important game coming up on Saturday. I think you'll enjoy it. Washington with a second half finish. How do you figure that turnaround?
They are really, I tell you what, if you look at the last 6 weeks of the Washington Redskins, their schedule got easier, but they're playing better. Their first 6 weeks, their schedule was so tough.
Ball fell off the tee. Mitch Berger will reset it.
The official will come in and tell him he can set it one more time. There he is. He says, guess what? Falls off the next time, a holder's got to come in. That's what they're talking about. He says, it'll be okay, Mr. Official.
All right.
Set it up. Go away. Go back to the sideline. Look at that official sprint to the sideline. He looks faster than Berger, the kicker.
That's nice of you to say.
He looked good.
Berger to kick off. Sends it away. Patrick Johnson at the 3. Johnson, the rookie wide receiver with good speed. Breaks through, here he goes!
He's gone! It's a touchdown!
He's going all the way! Patrick Johnson! Touchdown!
Wow! That's the guy that made the block on the other touchdown.
97-yard kickoff return for the rookie Patrick Johnson.
And he did the block to break the first one. The offense of the Ravens still isn't going to come in the game. Wow.
We found the secret weapon for the Ravens.
To the right of your screen, he's going to find a lane. Watch him look.
That's his buddy Harris leading him.
Now Harris is blocking, trying to get the block on Berger. Berger can't make the tackle. I got a plan. If I'm a Raven coach, let the Vikings kick a field goal, then run back a kickoff. Just keep it going.
Stover, 14-6 Ravens.
Wow.
2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
All right, sit up on your living room if you're a Raven fan and run. Watch his vision, sees the hole. There's Harris leading the block.
And once he found the opening, he's one of the fastest guys on the team.
Well, he never even got challenged. That's what's bad there for the Vikings. Nobody challenged him. Nobody dove over anybody. I don't see any bodies. You got to play happy hand grenades. I don't see any white jerseys flying around trying to explode.
Wow, look at him sprint.
Or Berger didn't have a chance. Remember, kickers, Berger is not a guy that can run with Johnson.
First NFL touchdown for Patrick Johnson.
And he deserved it because he made the great block on the first one.
There you go. The Ravens, the offense has been on the field for one play.
They should get the offense, the Ravens coaching staff, get them on the bench and start practicing. They won't know how to play if they don't get a shot in here pretty soon.
The kick return team has been spectacular. Special teams coach Scott O'Brien, he's got to be happy with the performance of his team.
I watched him coach all the people on Friday, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know him. I've never spoke to him, but I'm talking about the other coach on the other side of the Ravens.
This is Gary Zauner, the special teams coach for the Minnesota Vikings. Ted Marchibroda.
I watched the Ravens special teams, and they did a great job on Friday's practice. And Scott O'Brien went through every phase that you could go through, and it's paying off today.
That's Stover's kick. Coming up short, Palmer at the 12. Waits for his blocking and sprints through.
Wow,
Palmer's going.
It's a touchdown.
The race is on. Palmer. He gets a touchdown. This is unbelievable.
Wow. Back to back.
3 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the game. That turns the tables.
Wow.
88-yard kickoff return for David Palmer.
I feel like I'm watching a tennis match. My head's going right to left, right to left. Now there's their special teams coach you talked about.
Gary Zauner.
Gary Zauner's excited. Let's see if they get challenged. Little crack, little hole, little cut back there by Palmer. Palmer's been one of the best in the business for 3 years.
Now here's something. The Vikings are going to go for 2. This is early in the game. I don't agree with this, Jerry. What do you think?
Well, they got a chart that they look up, and if you're down 2 points, 1 point doesn't matter, and they stick by that chart.
But it's
right,
the first quarter. Cunningham looking, throwing, and it's batted down. No good. They gave away a point.
I agree. I think you look at your chart in the fourth quarter. I think a point right now, you take your point if you can make the point. But they got this little chart. No one's allowed to think on their own. And the chart says if you're down 2, you go for 2. But that chart, I don't think that matters in the first quarter. I'm like you. I think you're a good general manager. I look for you to run a team here pretty quick.
Yeah, because you want a job as my coach.
I know you. You wouldn't hire me. Oh,
batted down. Tony Saragusa.
Hey, he bats that ball down. I love what he said. Somebody called him the refrigerator. And Tony Saragusa said, I don't want to be called a refrigerator, but I like everything that's in the refrigerator.
Yeah, this is an NFL record. We've done it in the first quarter. 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns. An NFL record in one game. We've got it in the first quarter. Now, Gary Zauner's talking to his coverage team.
He better talk to his coverage team.
Here's Palmer on this return. Gone. And the poor kickers have no shot. Berger and Stover, they've had no chance. And Palmer takes it in.
Well, let's see if we can get another one. If we bring back another one, our stat man can jump right out of the booth. Purple power from both sides.
David Palmer.
There's the goose. The goose says, I love everything in a refrigerator. But don't call me a refrigerator.
That's right. We're talking about David Palmer being one of the best return men. That was his first kickoff return for a touchdown in his career.
Yeah, but he even scares you on the punts.
I hear you.
He can score on the punt. He's a scary guy to watch. Last year we watched a highlight reel just on him. And wow, I don't know how you tackle him.
All right, Berger to kick off. Now, he can't kick away from those return guys because he's got Johnson on one side, Harris on the other side, and they both run him back. Berger's kick. Harris at the 2.
Here they go.
Let's see what happens. Harris gets through, and he's stopped at the 27-yard line.
Well, everybody in Minnesota, the crowd's booing.
That's it.
The crowd is booing. I cannot believe it. We're here. We're seated. If you don't run it back, they're going to get booed today.
That was a pretty good return, about 25 yards. Not good enough. Corey Harris comes off. Good return. And the Ravens go on offense.
For the second time. And also their second play.
The last time was a fumble by Priest Holmes. Ravens leading the ball game, 14-12. Priest Holmes and Roosevelt Potts in the backfield. That's Floyd Turner in motion. Harbaugh to the fullback and a big hit by Robert Griffith. You love him.
Oh, Robert Griffith is a tremendous hitter. You don't find any better hitting than you do from this safety from Minnesota.
Take a look. One of the problem spots is the offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, last week, these are the players that started at this position. Watch what happened this week because of injuries from the early game. One guy, Blackshear, is the only guy starting the same position. This week, this is the starters. Atkins started last week at a guard, this week as a tackle. That hurts your offensive continuity.
Missing the two big twin towers, Jonathan Ogden and Orlando Brown, both inactive. Draw play. Priest Holmes bounces off and gets up to the 39-yard line. First down, good run by Priest Holmes.
Wow, they need to keep the ball. The time of possession right now is Minnesota 11 minutes and Baltimore 1 minute.
Minnesota Vikings on defense, John Randall and Jerry Ball. Those are the big guys. Tony Williams getting a chance to start. The linebackers, Ed McDaniel having a terrific year for the Vikings.
And we already talked about Griffith, the safety. If you like Lynch from Tampa that hits, this guy hits every bit as good as Lynch does.
Jimmy Hitchcock has 6 interceptions this season. First down for the Ravens. Long count by Harbaugh.
What?
Quick toss to the tight end, Eric Green. First down across midfield. Fumble the ball. And the Vikings have it again. Hitchcock gets away. Jimmy Hitchcock with the ball going down the sideline is taken out of bounds. So the second fumble of the game by the Baltimore Ravens. Just get the kickoff return team out on the field for them.
Well, they threw the ball. They caught the ball. They're running down the field. They're moving the ball better than anybody thought they would. And a second. Oh, this is awful. Big Eric Green, the tight end. Let's see who hits him. Yeah, Griffith put his helmet right on the ball. Griffith hits him. Watch his helmet right on the ball. Boom! Right there. That's what he's all about. He'll come after you every play.
Griffith forced it. Hitchcock recovered it. 3 wide receivers in for Minnesota. In motion, the tight end, Andrew Glover. Play fake. What? Cunningham running. Picks up a block, gets out of bounds in Ravens territory at the 46-yard line. Jamie Sharper chased him out of bounds.
This was a bootleg keeper. He fakes the run. Talking about Cunningham to his right. Going to fake the run that way, and he'll come opposite. There's the fake. And now he knows he's going to run. He's just tucking that ball away. Ooh, gets a little block, a little help there.
Setback Leroy Horde. Horde is hit short of the line of scrimmage. Good job by the interior of the Ravens defense.
Oh, you know, it's hard to believe that they're getting after him this well. Watching on film, that was Derek Alexander. Who's that? Tony again?
Yeah,
making the
Tony
play?
Saragusa
and Rob Burnett. There goes Big Tony. He doesn't play on pass downs. As you can tell, he's not built for quickness. He's built for stuff in the run.
6'3", 320.
320 if he hadn't eaten lunch.
Oh, all right. Second year with the Ravens. Third and a yard. Well, the Vikes. Carter comes in motion. Cunningham swings it out to David Palmer. First down. Oh, what a stiff arm, huh? Wow. On Deron Jenkins, number 25. Palmer with a stiff arm goes out of bounds close to the 40-yard line.
You don't see many people using a stiff arm in the league anymore, but he certainly knows how to use it.
Final seconds ticking off in a wild first quarter.
Oh, you talk about wild. I watched Palmer. He puts the ball in he's got to switch it. He switched there. Wow, man, he got him right on the jaw. Great
End of the first quarter. Minnesota coming in as the best team in the NFC, trailing 14-12 to Baltimore. There were 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns. 11-1 Minnesota Vikings, playing their 4th game this season on a grass field. They played in Green Bay, in Chicago, at Tampa Bay, their only loss. Look at this, time of possession, 12:28 to 2:32.
2 possessions, 2 fumbles for the Ravens.
Leroy Horde, who scored a touchdown on a reception last week, as well as a rushing touchdown, goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line of the Ravens.
And Leroy Horde is getting set for full speed contact, and there is none. Rod Woodson is aiming for him. Watch Leroy Horde. He puts the ball in the outside arm. He gets ready, and there never was any. Leroy Horde says, "I'm not fast, I'm not big, but I'm going down fighting." He told us that in the meeting. He says, "I'm going to spill my guts on every play, and that's what I want Leroy Horde to be known for."
Second and a short 2. Randy Moss in motion. Leroy Horde with a nice cutback. First down at the 32-yard line.
That was an example of what Leroy told us in the meeting. Get something, even if it's a yard, bang it in there and at least get one, and that's what he just did.
Leroy Horde started with the Cleveland/Baltimore Ravens organization and was actually with the Ravens their first year here, and then he was traded. 3 wide receivers in for the Vikings on first down. Hatchet, number 89, is in the slot for the right side. Quick outside to Carter, and he's taken down on the play. Deron Jenkins, number 25, made the tackle on Chris Carter. His 3rd reception, and he seems to be fine after coming back from the calf injury.
Watch the zone blitz. All these down linemen are getting out into the pass, but I think the corner's playing off so far, they can't make the play on a short throw. That's Jenkins playing the corner. What Jenkins has to do there is play a little bit closer, but they don't want to give up the big play.
2nd and 5. The fullback, Charles Evans, goes in motion. Play fake. Cunningham lots of time. Looking and completing. No. Knocked out of the hands. It's incomplete. Woodson picks it up and runs, but it's an incomplete pass. Hard hit on Randy Moss. Good job thus far by the Ravens on Moss.
Well, Moss looked over, but you got to love the Ravens. They'll close this gap in a hurry. There's Moss on an outside release. And now they're all booing here. Oh, he has to come down with his feet like he could do something with the ball. The crowd here is booing, thinking he had possession, but his feet have to come down. That's a good call. He never had possession.
Stephon Moore with a big hit for the Ravens. It's 3rd and a long 5. David Palmer goes in motion for Minnesota. Cunningham looking, throws it up in the air, and it's incomplete. Good job. James Jones, number 97, added that pass. And a good job by the Ravens defense.
And you don't see batted balls against Cunningham very much, and we've already had a couple of them. Remember, a defensive line coach, watch 97, he's coached that a batted ball is as good as a sack. Watch, he can go off to the right. There it is. There, he jumped up high, got his hands high, and the ball's batted up. Long field goal, not that long.
About 45 yards. Berger will hold. Gary Anderson with the kick, and it's right through. And Gary Anderson has tied the NFL record of 31 consecutive field goals held by former Viking Fuad Revez. Gary Anderson, 3 for 3 in the game. The Vikings have taken the lead, 15-14.
Scott, watch Gary Anderson's field goal. It just makes it over the bar. This was close, and the official, Don Hakes, will be standing to the left. Watch him look at it. He's looking right there. Yes, it did make it. It just made it. He broke the record.
Ties the record.
Ties the record, but he only tied it by about a little foot.
All right, it's 50-50. There'll be a return for a touchdown here. This is the 7th kickoff of the game. There's been 3 returns for touchdowns. Corey Harris, he's tripped up. And Jeff fumble, and K. Mays may recover for the Vikings. Vikings think they have it. Officials discuss it. Kaibu Mays with a tackle and the 3rd fumble of the game for the Baltimore Ravens. They have turned it over for the 3rd time.
And turned it over in their territory for the 3rd time. That's his foot. This ball came out before he was down. It's the right call.
Great tackle by Kaibu Mays. K. Mays.
K. Mays not only causes the fumble, he recovers it.
The rookie out of North Carolina.
Give me his first name one more time.
Kaibu Usama.
Wow.
You could say that, right?
I'd be the first guy down in the spelling bee. I'd be the first guy to have to sit down and take his chair.
Well, the Ravens just killing themselves now. They've turned the ball over on fumbles 3 times. Leroy Horde inside the 15. And knocked down hard by Stephon Moore.
Boy, Stephon Moore came flying in there. He's your strong safety, made a good hit. You got to make a good hit on Leroy Horde. You can't tackle him unless you bring the full package.
Ball inside the 13-yard line.
In all fairness to the Ravens defense, they haven't had a shot. They go in there with pitchforks sticking in their back. The goalpost.
Vikings jumped too soon. Left side of the line.
Looked like the tight end, maybe. Andrew Glover, is he in there? That's him.
Jerry Markbright is our referee this afternoon.
Prior to the snap, ball start, number 73, offense.
Todd Stussy,
5-yard
left
penalty,
tackle.
2nd down.
Jerry, that's his first penalty, and so we get to hear from Jerry Markbright. Let's take a look at Todd
That's a record
Stussy.
for Markbright. Left side, Markbright must have an early flight.
Oh, what's that?
Well, you know, if the game's over at 7:30 and the official's got to get out by 8:30, there won't be any penalties. You got to coach that. If you're the head coach, you got to say, they won't call much. Turn it loose.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Cunningham checking off at the line. He is checked off for a touchdown in each of the last 4 games. He's looking. He's throwing for Randy Moss. Touchdown!
Wow, push and shove with Woodson all the way. You got to see that. He had him covered, and they pushed and they shoved each other. The officials let him play.
15th touchdown of the season for Randy Moss.
Well, Randall Cunningham looked over. He knew it was one-on-one. Watch Woodson looking at the quarterback. Now he squats. Now he gets a push on him. Now he's all over his chest. Now they're pushing each other. And much else you can do. This guy.
Fabulous.
And what about the throw? Nobody talks about the throw. Only Randall Cunningham is sticking passes in like that.
Gary Anderson, he has been perfect on kicks, field goals, and extra points. And the Vikings, once again, a Ravens turnover. There's a flag on the play. Here's the touchdown again.
He's squatting. Now, that surprised me. He'd squat, but he wanted to challenge him. He challenged him. Now they're in the end zone. He's got to be underneath. Little push. I'll tell you what, he's savvy. He may be a rookie, but Moss is savvy. He got a little shove there with his right arm, left arm.
Holding, number 85, offense. 10-yard penalty, retry.
Retry for the extra point.
Greg DeLong, tight end, was called for. Randy Moss, 15 touchdown receptions. He leads all non-kickers in scoring this season with 92 points. Look at the yardage, a new NFL record for rookies in reception yardage. Anderson's kick from 20 yards away. It hits the crossbar and goes, rather the upright, and goes through. So the extra point is good. And the Vikings on the Randy Moss touchdown catch. Randall Cunningham, 28 touchdown passes this season.
And if you're the Ravens coach, why go get Tony Siragusa? Watch 98. This is an extra point. Watch his pressure. Watch what he does trying to block the extra point. Comes right through David Dixon. Great effort. A guy with great character, and that's what coaches want. When things aren't going good, you got to have guys you can count on, and Tony Siragusa is one of them.
The Vikings turn the fumble recovery into 7 points and lead 22-14. Mitch Berger to kick off. Coming down to Corey Harris from the 10. Harris, who's had one return for a touchdown, goes across the 30 and brought down. We'll step out for a moment, a little pushing and shoving. We'll be back.
Watch this throw by Randall Cunningham. Everybody's talking Randy Moss. Watch the throw. He moves. Look where the ball ends up. I don't know if many people can put the ball right there. And we like Moss, but I think Cunningham is the key. Look at here. Look at that, Sam.
Moss is coming to town.
Look at that, Sam. Scratch Sam out. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Sam, they don't like you as well as they do me. Right there, baby.
Do the game without me, Jerry?
Woo! That's our first sign in 6 years. Guess who made it? My mom came over and made that sign for us.
Oh, that's great. Good work. Look at this. The Ravens have had 4 offensive plays. Priest Holmes. Stop. No gain on the play. Tony Williams, number 94, in on the stop. Second-year man from Memphis.
Wow, John Randall in a full strut play. Look at him. He thinks he's a rooster. He's playing right. He started at right end. Everybody in Minnesota rather than tackle. He likes tackle better, Sam, but the coaches said we need him at end this week.
In pass situations, he'll move inside when they change up. They got Jerry Ball on the inside. He's a guy that's tough to move. Harbaugh throwing for Floyd Turner, and Turner makes the catch. Good catch by Turner, just short of the 40-yard line. Floyd Turner was a forgotten man most of this season, but with the injuries to Jermaine Lewis and Michael Jackson, he's been counted on.
I saw Michael Jackson practice, so he looked good in practice, so I think he'll come in, but a nice low throw. Good throw by Harbaugh. Harbaugh surprised me in practice. Had a good hard ball, still can throw it, still turn the ball over.
Turner had 2 touchdown catches last week and over 100 yards receiving. Harbaugh gets pressure and completes to Turner across midfield. It's a first down. Good catch by Floyd Turner. Corey Fuller covering on the play.
And this is what the Vikings said about Harbaugh in our meeting. He'll come out and watch him get away. He'll escape to the right. Doesn't like it. Gets a little movement. Sees Turner, puts the ball right on the money, and that's what the Vikings said. This quarterback, Jim Harbaugh, will never surrender. He'll keep fighting to the final gun.
And the numbers for Floyd Turner the last 2 games. Harbaugh and Turner were together in Indianapolis. That's Turner in motion. First down for the Ravens. At midfield, ball is down. It's loose. Do the Vikings have it? They do. They've recovered a fumble. 4th fumble of the game for the Baltimore Ravens. This is unbelievable. They have fumbled the ball 4 times to the Vikings. Dixon Edwards recovers the fumble.
That was on exchange, I believe, Sam. It happened so quick. Let's look at there's his hands. Let's see what happens. That's Harbaugh's hands. Popped right out of his hands. Should have had it.
Ball. And there comes Dixon Edwards.
Oh, great camera work by Fox. We got the best cameraman in the business.
Got it. Just across midfield. Here come the Vikings again. Moss in motion. Pressure on Cunningham. Incomplete. He had Randy Moss open, but threw it a little bit low. And here's what's killing the Ravens today. Priest Holmes, first play, fumbles the football.
First pass.
Eric Green fumbles the football. Recovered by Jimmy Hitchcock. Returned by Corey Harris. and he fumbled it, and that was covered by K. Mays. And then a fumble by Harbaugh, and Dixon Edwards recovers.
That looks like a season of fumbles rather than a half.
Flags go down.
What pressure.
And Michael McCrary takes down Randall Cunningham. We'll check out the flags.
Wow.
McCrary, who's had only 1 sack in the last 4 games, is second in the AFC with 13 and a half.
Number 99,
Wow.
defense.
That's why he was there so quick.
5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, he's the man that got the instant sack, and he probably got it because he left early. He's already out of his stance, doing a swim underneath. And Todd Stussy knows that the snap count, the ball wasn't even called. He's telling the official, we never hiked the ball when he came through there.
4 fumbles lost. That's a Ravens team record. They've lost 4 today.
There's the shift on the defense.
The delay to Leroy Horde. Finds a hole, pushes his way across the 40, close to a first down. Stevan Moore.
Stevan Moore is
in
hitting.
on the tackle. Yes, he is.
He came flying up there with a good stick again.
Well, he heard what you said about Robert Griffin, so he said, hey, watch me, coach.
As soon as you brag on one, the other side will play better. I think they're going to do a measurement. Now, you're so good, Sam. Is this or is this not a first down? I'm going to check your right eye. I know your left eye fell out there in makeup. How's the right eye looking?
Not too bad. This is going to be a little bit short, Jerry.
By how much? A length?
I would say 2 lengths.
2 lengths short. Sam never misses. If you miss Sam, you're walking home.
All right, let's see.
Here's a better scoop. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good.
But
I'll
it was
give
short,
it. Hey,
right?
You're 5 links is good as 2 links. Speaking about links, I got you a new set of gold cufflinks for Christmas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you giving it to me?
Well, I got them outside the hotel. I walked outside the hotel. The guy said they were solid gold. I could have them for $3. I think you'll like them.
Oh, man.
Hey, talk about hotels. Don't you love this town of Baltimore? Terrific. Great city.
Yeah, they really revitalized the city. Here's Cunningham on 3rd and short. David Palmer's the lone setback.
Motion.
Everybody out now. Nobody in the backfield. Cunningham, short drop, and Moss didn't turn around. Woo.
Moss and Cunningham were not on the same page.
Right.
Immediately when they went empty backfield, Cunningham was going to throw a slant. And watch your quarterback. He's going to throw the slant, and Moss is going to try to go deep.
Yeah, he's running a different pattern.
Yeah. And Rod Woodson, he's saying, what's going on here? 4th down.
And Denny Green decides to go for it.
Why not?
It's 4th and 5 lengths.
Oh, I like that. Split backfield usually means pass.
Evans
Pass
and
or sneak.
Palmer in the backfield. Vikings 2 for 2 on 4th down this season. Quarterback sneak, first down.
Oh, I knew it.
Play strong.
Yep. That backfield set told you what they were going to do. So your inside tackle people have to play the sneak. Let's look at it. This backfield means pass or sneak. Oh, they had nobody in the gap to the left side, Sam. They didn't fill up. Jeff Christie, he got a good push. Dave Dixon had nobody to block. So Cunningham went right behind the right guard. Jeff Christie, one of the best centers in the National Football League. Does a great job for the Vikings.
Chris Carter in motion on first down, just short of the 36-yard line. Cunningham gets time. Intended for Carter. He wanted a hold on Woodson. Nothing called on the play.
Christie, the center, you'll watch him. He gets his hand up. He makes the line call, but I've never seen Cunningham duck this much. He ducked again away from the blitz. And he knows they're coming. He throws, and let's watch the center first. Here's the best center in the NFC. There, he's doing something with his hand. That left hand means something to him. Now watch Cunningham. A little pressure on him. And he's turning around and ducking after he throws. You got to finish the throw. I've never seen Randall do that. Come on, Randall.
3 wide receivers. 89. Matthew Hatchett to the near side. Looking for Hatchett. Got it. Tries to get away and falls forward across the 30-yard line. Wayne Starks took him down.
And this is what I like about Randall. They switch receivers. Who is Matthew Hatchett? Nobody knows who he is. He throws to him. Chris Walsh comes in, he throws to him. And we like Chris Carter, we like Moss, but he throws good to whoever goes in there.
Now the Vikings are going to get a bye come playoff time. That first week they'll have off. They expect to have Jake Reed back for the playoffs.
They miss Jake.
Yeah, the full contingent of receivers will be back. Evans and Palmer in the backfield. It's third and a long 2. Palmer in motion, looking, Cunningham throwing. It is caught for a first down by David Palmer.
What a throw and what a catch. Palmer came in motion, started 2 backs, and then this is called a close over. Close means close to the tackle. Here's the motion. This is called close over. He gets close to the tackle. Watch him. And there he is inside. Nice catch, nice throw. Wow, now that's tough to stop.
First down, Vikings inside the 20. Ford and Evans in the backfield. Play fake. Cunningham. Little shovel pass. Leroy Horde inside the 10. Looked like an option play.
That was an option. Welcome to Oklahoma. We're back to college football. And he's grinning. He's laughing. He hadn't run the option since he played. Where did he play college ball?
Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yeah, watch this. This fake the dive. Watch him come out. Pitch with the left hand. Little high pitch. Leroy Horde jumps up to get it. And that'll mess up the Ravens defense. They're having a little fun.
He's making it up as he goes. First down, Vikings at the 6-yard line. Ninth play of the drive for Minnesota. Inside of the fullback, Charles Evans. Short pickup. It's inside the 5-yard line.
That was off the last play. And what Randall does with Leroy, he carries the option out after they give it to Evan. So you saw the first part. Watch the quarterback there's the handoff, and now they're going just like, and you can see there's Starks playing the option. So they ran the option, then they came back and ran the dive off the same series.
Look at these numbers. Minnesota, 42 plays to 8 for Baltimore, 18 and a half minutes to just about 5 for Baltimore.
Wow, suicide.
Ford and Evans in the backfield. Carter and Moss, the wide receivers. The play fake. And throwing it away was Randall Cunningham. Moss was deep in the end zone, but that was way overthrown. And big-time pressure from Larry Webster for Baltimore.
Well, big-time Larry put a stick right on Randall, sticks him right in the chest. Just keeps working right through a double team. Now that's a big man taking you down to the ground.
6'5", 288, Larry Webster.
88. You're going to get there if you keep eating like you do on Friday night on my Visa card.
Is that right?
You keep charging, you're going to get the 288.
As long as you got room on the card, I'm eating. Here's third and goal. 3 wide receivers in, Carter in motion. Looking for Carter. Spins, and he's brought down. That's a good tackle by Deron Jenkins. Third-year man out of Tennessee, Deron Jenkins, with a good play to stop Chris Carter for no gain.
Well, I remember him coming out of Tennessee. Everybody said, this guy's a future star. When you can get Carter down in the open field, got him around the ankles, nice play. He's proud of that.
Here is an attempt at an NFL record. Gary Anderson is 3 for 3 today. He has hit his last 31 in a row.
31 in a row. Look at that face mask. He won't play linebacker.
The kick is good. And a 24-yard field goal gives Gary Anderson the NFL record. He's made 32 in a row. So the Vikings have not scored fewer than 24 points this season. They just roll along offensively. They're making a run at the all-time NFL record, which is 541 points.
Well, if the Ravens keep turning the ball over on their end, they may break the record here today. You can't let them have the ball on your side of the 50 all day. What, 3 times, 4 times? Terrible.
4 fumbles, and the Vikings have scored 16 points off turnovers. Corey Harris from the 6. Harris bounces off a couple of tackles and gets up to the 33-yard line. Good return by Corey Harris. And there's the NFL record holder for most consecutive field goals. Gary Anderson, 4 for 4 today, 27 for 27 this season, and he has now made 32 consecutive field goals dating back to last season, and that's an NFL record.
I'm surprised that he didn't go get the ball. I thought he'd go get the ball after breaking the record, but he hasn't got the ball yet.
They'll get it to him.
No, they won't. They won't. You want it, you got to go get it, Sam. They won't bring it to you.
Priest Holmes carries on first down on only the 5th offensive play for the Baltimore Ravens as they have fumbled away their chances here in the first half.
And a good tackle by Ed McDaniel, middle linebacker. We haven't hollered his name because there haven't been many plays.
That's right. Priest Holmes now splits out to the right. Roosevelt Potts, the fullback, number 42, the lone setback. Two wide receivers to the near side. Harbaugh, short drop, going down the sideline, incomplete, way overthrown. Intended for James Rowe. Jimmy Hitchcock covering on the play. 4:27 to go in the first half. The Vikings looking to go 13-1 and tie the Denver Broncos for the best record in the NFL because the Broncos lost at the Meadowlands today to the Giants.
When you say that, you got a little sparkle in your voice, and in your eyes are dancing. Sam, you giant lover, you.
Three wide receivers in for the Ravens. Patrick Johnson, the man with great speed, is at the right side. And now flag goes down.
15 defensive line, but probably caused a little movement over there in the offensive line.
False start, number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Big Ben.
Seattle try to get back to 500. Green Bay coming from behind to beat Chicago. An important win for them as they look to clinch the playoff spot. New Orleans was beaten. That hurts their playoff chances. Arizona now 7-7, along with Tampa Bay 7-7. They battle for the last NFC wildcard spot. There's the Giants win 20-16. Harbaugh out of the shotgun, gets time, and throws to the short man, incomplete, off the chest of Priest Holmes. So the Ravens' only offense this first half has been 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
And Priest Holmes has been the offense of the Ravens, especially against Cincinnati. 2 big days rushing. From San Antonio, Texas.
Kyle Richardson is back to punt for Baltimore. His first punt of the game. David Palmer is deep from Minnesota. Great kick by Richardson. Palmer waits for a fair catch, takes it at the 16-yard line. Donnie Brady, number 24, was down in his face.
We want to show you Priest Holmes. He's from San Antonio, Texas, went to the University of Texas. His mom and dad are Herman and Norma out there, and this is another guy that lives in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh.
This is Red McCombs, owner of the Minnesota Vikings. One Texan saying good afternoon to another Texan.
You knew he'd find Priest Holmes, right?
You know, if you get 2 Texans in the same building, they're going to end up hugging on each other.
Priest has had a good year. His best games coming against Cincinnati. 2 tight ends in. That's Hunter Goodwin in motion. The play fake by Cunningham being rushed and throws it away. Good pressure from Rob Burnett. Cunningham talking to Andrew Glover, the tight end.
He wanted another pattern from Andrew Glover on that. And I've got to say this, the defense has roughed Randall up a little bit. I've seen Randall Cunningham duck, bob, weave, get pushed, shove, but he's come back and run the option.
That's it. Total yardage dominated by the Vikings. Cunningham is 14 for 28 already in the first half. Leroy Horde bounces it outside. Oh, picked up a good block, and he's forced out of bounds up at the 28-yard line. Ralph Staten forced him out, but Jamie Sharper was closing in on a tackle, and he was bounced out of there.
You know what? He looks like he's got a burst. You get Leroy Horde on grass, and he doesn't slow down. A lot of people are fast in the dome, but slow down on grass. Horde's speed, I think he runs the same speed even if he's in mud. And you got to have a back that can run on a bad turf, and that's Leroy Horde.
That was Chris Carter with a big block on Jamie Sharper.
Oh, boy. Chris Carter will always block you to help the running backs. Look at that
Clinching to Randy Moss, and he's turning it into a big gain. Moss down at the 40-yard line.
Well, they're booing because he looked like a quarterback sliding for safety. Made a nice catch, took off running, but the crowd doesn't want to see him slide.
32-yard pickup. Watch what happens here.
Tough crowd here. This is like a Philadelphia crowd. Nice catch. Rob falls down. Rob Woodson. Now watch what he does here.
Goes to the ground.
Slides. Ray Lewis was going to get ready to hit him. Didn't have a shot at him.
2 catches in the game for Randy Moss. 1 for a touchdown. The up man, Charles Evans, across the 40. Short pickup on the play. Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker, on the tackle.
If you come watch the Ravens play, you go home saying one name. What is it? Lewis. Ray Lewis. Look at him stick with his nose, his face, and he does that every time he gets the opportunity. I like watching him play.
Great tackler. He's been playing hurt, but he leads the linebackers. He's the veteran in his 3rd season.
Isn't that something? That
Boulware's in for 2 seasons, Sharper 2 seasons. Lewis leads the team coming into today's game with 111 tackles. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Randy Cunningham talks to the offensive coordinator, Brian Billick, and the Vikings lead it 25-14.
Excellent first half.
JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris, they had a great pregame show. They got a great halftime report for you. Scores and highlights. Denver losing for the first time this season, losing to the Giants. Fox Sports tickers got up to the second stats. We've got it all for you on the Visa halftime report.
There's Brad Johnson, not suited up, but I watched him throw the ball in pregame warm-up, and he's throwing the ball pretty good right now.
Vikings second down, just inside the 40-yard line. Cunningham on the play fake, has time, looking for Moss. It's tipped, it's incomplete.
Wow, Starks, the rookie they're going after, and Starks can play.
Rookie out of Miami, 10th pick in the NFL draft.
Wow, you get a guy, he's off a long ways, but he squats, he's not afraid. Now he takes off running, comes right up underneath him. Pretty good play.
Talking to Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator, said, you know,
I like
the one thing about, oh, he's great. Yeah. He said about Starks, he said, this is about the end of his college season, so we got to get him in there and understand that you got to come to work every day and prepare.
It's called that rookie hitting the wall blues.
I hear you. 6 defensive backs in for the Ravens, and they jump. Were they drawn? The flags go down.
Good job by Randall.
Like it's against Minnesota.
Oh, really?
No, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be against Baltimore.
Looked like Randall's voice did that one. Here's Gerke. Got some new glasses.
Encroachment foul. Number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty.
Burnett.
Down.
Burnett's the man who jumped. 3rd penalty on the Ravens.
Everybody jumped. Probably the voice of the quarterback.
Eric Zayer's warming up on the sideline for the Ravens. Jim Harbaugh has not gotten it done, but can't blame it all on him. Fumbles.
He fumbled one of them. All the other fumbles were somebody else.
Ball just across the 35-yard line. 3rd and a long 4. Evans and Palmer in the backfield. Cunningham fakes the handoff. Throws for the fullback Evans. It's incomplete. Evans didn't wait for the ball to get to him. He just kept on going.
Well, it was crisscross in the backfield. So they wanted to get Ray Lewis lost on the crisscross. Watch these two back. This back's this way, this back's this way. And all Ray Lewis does is says, I'll take the first back out my side. What a nice job. And he jumps on Charles Evans. That's a coached linebacker, Mr. Lewis. I got excited on that one.
That's okay. It's a good play. Mitch Berger, second punt of the game. Minnesota with a 25-14
Oh, he's telling, wait, I don't want the ball. He wants to take the penalty. He wants to back it up. He's telling, wait, don't snap it. He's not there.
They're missing a guy.
There it is.
All right.
Who is that guy?
Charles Evans coming back on the field. They
Charles
were down a
Evans
man.
will be fine. When you're late on the field for special teams, the coach takes your money. So Charles, you're playing for nothing today. Look at him. He said, get the number. I got his payday.
Gary Zauner talking to the Vikings last night and talking about keeping focus. They said, you know what? We have a fine system for mental errors. We don't want our money taken away.
That's
so
right.
they stay mentally sharp.
And they're fined at Friday's practice.
Offense.
Then the
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Then the fine is doubled if you make a mistake on Saturday, and then it's doubled again if you make it on Sunday. So our friend right there, Mr. Evans, that's a $100 bill.
Dixon Edwards told us that one.
Why?
Gary Zauner, the special teams coach.
I interviewed Gary when I was a head coach somewhere. I sat down, talked to him, and he knows his stuff.
Berger kicks it high. James Rowe waving for a fair catch. Takes it at the 15-yard line. A minute 44 remaining in the first half. And the Ravens get a chance on offense. Saturday on Fox, Todd Eldridge, Kurt Browning, Katarina Witt. Some of the world's best skaters lead their countries and continue the battle for international bragging rights. It's the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge, Saturday, 1:30 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings.
Sam, you watch those skaters every week. You watch the Rangers.
Yeah.
Could they get up and jump around and do the things like these people are doing?
It'd be tough.
They're way too much.
That's right. When you're over 200 pounds, it's tough.
200. They're like 240 now.
Jimmy Harbaugh stays in the game. Ball's on the 15-yard line. Ravens have not had the ball much in this first half. There are 2 scores on 2 kickoff returns. One by Corey Harris, one by Patrick Johnson. The inside handoff to Priest Holmes. Gets up to about the 19-yard line.
Well, you got a minute 25. They evidently don't want to make a mistake in their own half of the field, which they've been doing all day.
But they're going no huddle after a 4-yard pickup. Harbaugh looking to put it up deep. Nobody open. Gets it to Floyd Turner. And he's knocked down by Ramos McDonald, the rookie out of New Mexico, who's really come along well.
Good throw, good catch, good tackle. 3 people playing like a football player.
They like Ramos McDonald, who was a 3rd-round draft pick. They brought him along slowly, and now he's getting into nickel situations.
Oh, boy.
Somebody moved left side. James Atkins, number 74.
Usually plays guard. Moved him to tackle today, and he got out of the woods too quick.
The mic was open, and we caught a little extra there.
What did he say?
Offense.
I didn't pick it up.
I didn't either. But one official was talking to the other. He said, when his mic was open, he hollered at the other ref. Now, he's usually a guard. Started guard last week. Jumped out of there too quick.
Jonathan Ogden is out with an ankle injury.
And
the first game he's missed in his NFL career. This is his 3rd season, Jonathan Ogden.
And the Vikings said that was maybe their best player at the Ravens, Jonathan Ogden. That came from the Vikings players, and he's not playing today.
Priest Holmes the lone setback. And it's 1st and 15. Harbaugh being rushed, steps up, and fires it out of bounds. Eric Green, the tight end, was the closest receiver.
Eric Green is thinner than he used to be. When he played for Pittsburgh, he was a whole lot larger.
He's a big man.
Played at Liberty College. Sam Retigliano.
Yeah, 9th year in the NFL. Still list him at 285.
Doesn't look that big anymore.
2nd and 15 for the Ravens at the 20-yard line. Harbaugh gets time, finds a man open. It's Floyd Turner, and he's across the 25-yard line. 4th reception of the game for Floyd Turner, and the Vikings called timeout.
Well, they're throwing the short passes. They're not going to be able to get a first down doing that, so now the Vikings think they'll get the ball again if there's an incompletion on this 3rd down.
It is 3rd down. The ball's at the 26-yard line. So a chance for Minnesota to maybe get the ball back with some time on the clock late in the first half.
Not many formations to make the Vikings worry. They just got talking about the Ravens offensively. Looks like I've only seen 2 formations, and that won't bother an NFL defensive team.
Jim Harbaugh talking to Don Strock, the quarterback's coach, and one of the assistants who actually calls the plays on the sideline.
I said to Don today, the last time I saw you, I was coaching the Oilers, and you were the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns in a playoff game.
These are halftime reports coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will look at all the games, scores and highlights. They'll analyze the Denver Broncos' first loss of the season to the Giants. And we've got up to the second stats on the Fox ticker. Blitz coming. Harbaugh being pressured. Throws incomplete. Intended for Floyd Turner, and the Vikings will get the ball back with some time left in the first half. Been a tough season for Jimmy Harbaugh, trying to get into the offensive flow. He was injured early in the year.
Watch this backside pressure. Oh, boy. Ed McDaniel Middle linebacker coming up inside.
Second punt for Kyle Richardson. Good fly kick. Palmer heads for the sideline. It's out of bounds.
Hang time's great, but you still can't return it regardless because he put it out of bounds.
Beautiful kick. Jeff Mitchell, number 60, the center, talking things over on the sideline. 32 seconds left in the first half. No return on the 40-yard punt. Ryan Billick and Randy Cunningham talk things over. Ryan Billick already mentioned for head coaching positions that are opening up. Minnesota Vikings, look at the offense. Came into the game with 442 points, 99 short of the NFL record held by the Washington Redskins of 1983. Ryan Billick, they're talking about him. His name has surfaced in San Diego, where June Jones will leave at the end of the season.
That's all talk.
Yeah. But he's put together great offense.
Done a good job. You got to just do the best job you can at where you're at and not let the talks interfere with what you're doing. I always said, be the best assistant you can and somebody else will notice. Don't try to be something else.
But people are noticing.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Just keep on working.
What I like about him also is he was loyal to his head man. When Denny Green was under fire last year.
He tried to go to Dallas, didn't he?
Well, Dallas talked to him. He said, no, I'm staying with Denny Green. If Denny Green stays in Minnesota, I'm staying with Denny Green.
Denny Green's a guy all assistants want to work for. He treats him good.
Cunningham on second down. Throws wide open. Completing to Matthew Hatchett. Down at the Ravens 43, and Hatchett gets up and calls timeout. So the Vikings, with 19 seconds remaining, are in Baltimore territory. 25-yard completion.
Can't play the prevent defense, Sam, and not disrupt the receiver. They let Hatchett just run wherever he wanted to. If you're playing prevent zone, somebody's got to bang you on the line of scrimmage. They did not do that.
Good job by the Vikings of bringing Matthew Hatchett along. Jake Reed goes down. Hatchett steps into the lineup, and he's showing some real good promise. Good moves. He's got some strength. One of the things he worked on in the offseason.
I like when they bring in Chris Walsh, too. They bring him as a wideout. He used to always come in and be a great blocker in the run game. When he came in, I'd say, watch the run, watch the crackback. And they do a good job regardless of who their players are. And one thing the Vikings players said, our backups come in and play like our starters, and that's been the difference this season.
3 wide receivers. The tight end is Andrew Glover, and he's back up off the line in the slot. David Palmer, the lone setback. The ball's at the Ravens 42. Cunningham gets hit as he throws, and the catch is made inbounds by Randy Moss. His third reception of the game. The ball just short of the first down, about the 33.
Well, the corners are so far off, and they have nobody underneath them. You can't. Wow, man, he's getting hit today. This corner is standing off 9 yards, and that Starks. You don't have a chance on a quick out. You don't have a chance.
2nd and 1. Sorry,
Jerry. The corner's going to be that deep, Sam. You got to bring a linebacker out there with you to take the underneath.
Cunningham looking, gets time, throwing to the sideline. This time it's incomplete, out of bounds. Intended for Matthew Hatchett.
But flush the quarterback again. They've had Randall on the move.
Matthew Hatchett, a 7th-round draft pick in 1997 out of Langston College. 9 seconds remaining in the first half. The ball's at the 33-yard line.
Third and real short. They're already in field goal range, Sam.
Yeah, it might be a little long here. He just made a 45-yarder. This would be a 50 if you had to kick it from here. Cunningham looking. Goes to Palmer. Palmer heads to the sideline, dives, tries to get out of bounds. He does inside the 30-yard line.
Great job stopping the clock with 2 seconds. Now the field goal team will come in.
Palmer looks around, moving the chains. It is a first down for the Vikings just across the 30.
Not bringing in the field goal team.
I guess they're going for it. I guess they feel it's too long for Gary Anderson. Anderson just made a 45-yarder earlier. Just got over the crossbar to keep the record alive. Right here with 2 seconds to go. The Vikings are going for it. Going for the end zone. Cunningham rushed from behind, brought down. The sack by Michael McCrary, only his second in the last 5 games, gives him 14 and a half on the season. The end of the first half. Minnesota Vikings lead the Baltimore Ravens 25-14. Coming up, the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back to Ravens Stadium at Camden Yards in Baltimore, where the Minnesota Vikings have the 25-14 lead on the Baltimore Ravens. Time now for our weekly internet bonus question. Which team will have the most total yards in the second half? To give your answer, log on to the Fox Sports website at www.foxsports.com. Sam Rosen, Jerry Glanville back in Baltimore, and the Ravens really fumbled away any chances in the first half. Their offense was 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. The Vikings, they continue that offensive machine.
And they had their 1 kickoff return, so we can say we were there. 3 kickoff returns for a touchdown in the first quarter. But other than that, the Ravens have turned the ball over, 4 fumbles, and the defense can't play if you keep turning the ball over on your side of the field.
Let's take a look at these kickoff returns for touchdowns. First, it was Corey Harris going 95 yards.
And that broke in, so they got a good block at the end.
That made it 7-3. Now it's Patrick Johnson. He goes 97 yards. That made it 14-6.
And that was fair because he's the guy that made the good block for the first touchdown.
And then David Palmer, an 88-yard touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings. And then the Vikings settled in, and they turned those turnovers. That's one thing to get turnovers, but you turn them into points.
And they do that as good as anybody, especially when you turn the ball over on your side of the field. Even fumble a quarterback's center exchange with Jim Harbaugh.
Now we take a look at Randy Moss. We talk about it. People have even mentioned him as a possible MVP candidate. He leads the NFL in receiving yards.
And he's getting absolutely good throws, as you can see. He's not having to make spectacular catches. And I think Cunningham is really doing a great job of putting, look at where he's putting the ball, right on the money, right between the 8 and the 4.
He's caught some passes. He's dropped some balls as well. Chris Carter back in the lineup certainly has to help the Vikings' total offensive package.
Although I don't see the ball going to Chris Carter much, they still got to cover him. You still got to count for him being in there. But really, the game is 2 people. Randall Cunningham throwing to Randy Moss.
All right, Vikings kicking off. For Baltimore, what do they have to do in the second half to get back in this game?
Well, I think they got out of the game by giving the ball away. They certainly have to take care of the ball, but you got to play more wide open. You know, you got to throw it, and you got to air it out and try to catch back up.
Berger's kick coming down to Corey Harris at the 3. Harris trying to get outside, slips Kylie Wong, spins, and then he's buried about the 26-yard line.
Look at this, Sam. It's kind of one way. And the big one, of course, that took the chance away from the Ravens was the 4 fumbles that they lost. Points after fumbles, 16.
Big factor in the game. Time of possession dominated by the Minnesota Vikings.
You told me the team in purple would play good today.
That's right. Yeah, you know, my analysis is pretty good.
You had that broken down.
Jimmy Harbaugh remains in at quarterback. Roosevelt, Potts, and Priest Holmes, the running backs. Potts shifting. Priest Holmes on the draw. That's about a yard on the play, and the ball pops loose again.
Not again.
And let's see as they unpile. Harbaugh saying, we got it, we got it, we got it. And the officials looking.
Dixon Edwards made a great hustle play and a great hit on that play.
Vikings.
Let's
see. They still haven't got the official call on it. The Vikings think they have it. And Jerry Markwright says Vikings ball. 5th time the Ravens have fumbled and turned it over to the Vikings.
And you got to credit, I saw Dixon Edwards coming down behind the line of scrimmage, outside linebacker. I think Edwards is out here.
I think Ed McDaniel's going to make this
watch it come down the line right there. Nice hustle play by Dixon Edwards. Guy used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Old Michigan State player. Effort, all-out hustle play.
McDaniel got a hit in there, and I think he recovered the fumble. Ball's at the 27-yard line of the Ravens, and here come the Vikings again, looking for more points.
Inside the 30, Sam.
Leroy Horde. Stop. No gain. Good job up front. Now, Jerry, with all these fumbles, can you pick out anything? Is anything being done by the Ravens that's leading to these fumbles? Are they doing something that's causing some of this? Or is it just the Vikings with the hits?
Well, the Vikings are making hits right on the football, and that makes it tough. Other than the center quarterback exchange by Harbaugh, that had nothing to do with the Vikings. Other than that, the Vikings are striking the ball either with a helmet or with a hand.
Leroy Horde and Charles Evans, the running backs. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback. On second down, he has time. He's looking and throwing for Randy Moss, and it's knocked away. Good play by Rod Woodson.
And what a throw again. The throw is perfect. And Watson, watch Woodson. He turns his hips. He's opened up. I'll say one thing about Wade. He's not afraid to challenge. He lets him get up close and sticks that right hand right in there. Rod Woodson, you still got it. After all these years, he still has it.
Some people think he's slowed down a step, but when you talk to the Ravens people, they feel that he's still their best cover man.
And they said he'd win 3 games for him by himself, and he's won 3 of their games.
Here comes the blitz. Cunningham gets rid of it. Stephon Moore came from way back in the secondary on the blitz.
You see too much. They blitz Moore, the strong safety, and he couldn't have got there if he was on a motor scooter. He came from so deep. It opened wide open for him, but it took him too long to get to Cunningham.
Field goal attempt coming up. Gary Anderson, who already is 4 for 4 in the game, will try this one from 46 yards out. He has set an NFL record today, 32 consecutive field goals. This one is good. Gary Anderson adds to the record, his 5th field goal of the game. He's made 33 in a row. Back in Baltimore, where the Minnesota Vikings now lead at 28-14. They now have 19 points off Ravens turnovers. Mitch Berger to kick off. Coming down to Corey Harris at the 7. Harris slips a tackle, and then he is piled on at the 24-yard line. Good job by the Vikings, who have tightened up after giving up the 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the first quarter.
I think what shocked the Vikings cover team is Berger's kicks didn't go through the end zone.
Yeah.
That's what he does indoors in the dome. And so when you get outside, you have to have your cover team ready to make a good kick coverage on a ball that's going to come down around the 5 or the 6.
Ball at the 25-yard line. The Ravens, 6 possessions, 4 fumbles.
Well, that'll usually put you in deep trouble.
Jim Harbaugh is still in at quarterback. Priest Holmes and Roosevelt Potts are the running backs. Harbaugh steps up, and it's intercepted by Corey Fuller. Looking to pick up some blocks. Fuller across the 30. Pushed out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Jim Harbaugh forced him out. 4th interception of the season for Corey Fuller. And the Vikings just adding to the Ravens' misery. That is the 6th turnover of the game for the Baltimore Ravens.
And we talked to Corey Fuller. He said he doesn't have the great ability, but he'd rather be a fighter than a guy with just ability. And there's Corey, guy we interviewed yesterday, making the big play.
Well, he was upset that people are saying, oh, the secondary of the Vikings is suspect.
He got mad at the USA newspaper. He said, I'm tired of reading in the USA newspaper that we're not any good.
Leroy Horde powers his way straight ahead for the 21-yard line. That is just a killer.
6 turnovers.
The Ravens have never been able to get anything rolling on offense because they fumble every time, and then this time it's an interception. Career high for Corey Fuller. Ball at the 21-yard line. 2nd and 3 for the Vikings, who have 2 tight ends in there. Hunter Goodwin, number 87, is in, along with Andrew Glover. Ford cuts it back. And dives forward to the 20-yard line. Picked up a yard on the play. Ray Lewis, number 52, made the tackle. Leading tackler on the Ravens. The Ravens defensively throughout the season have played pretty well. The offense has struggled to put points on the board. They've lost some low-scoring games. They lost 12-8 to Tennessee. Last week they lost the low-scoring game to the Oilers.
I think the biggest mistake, Sam, they used to score a lot of points when they had Vinny Testaverde here. And for some reason they let Vinny go, and they haven't been able to put those points up since Vinny went to the Jets.
On 3rd and 2, complete to Chris Carter. I think he's got enough for the first down. His 5th reception of the game. Chris Carter, one of the best 3rd down receivers
Easy
in the
throw.
NFL.
Randall Cunningham stands up and throws what's called a slot diagonal. He'll go just run a little to the flat. He's in motion. Now bang it to the flat. Semi-roll by the quarterback and put it on him. Jenkins argued he didn't get the first down, but he did.
Chris Carter having a good afternoon.
Two tight ends in there. Audibleizing.
Cunningham, short drop to Carter. And he's hit immediately on the short pickup at the 12-yard line. Wayne Starks with the hit on Chris Carter.
Well, Cunningham saw how far Dwayne Starks was off the receiver.
James Jones hurt on the play.
So you'll see the audible because that's so far. That's too far off to take away a quick hitch. So he just audibles to it. We'll be right back.
38 yards in the game. Now has 26 third down receptions.
And that's the down. That's the down that counts. Make the third down reception, convert it to a first down.
On 2nd and 6, the Vikings closing in on more points. Throwing for the end zone. Touchdown, Chris Carter. My, oh my. Randall Cunningham with another touchdown pass. His 29th of the season. And the 100th career touchdown for Chris Carter. 99 receiving. He's recovered 1 fumble for a TD.
Well, I was looking behind the quarterback's shoulder, and what a throw. This is a frozen rope. No place for a DB to make a break. No defensive back has a chance. And what a throw by Randall Cunningham.
Gary Anderson for the extra point, and the Vikings breaking this one open, taking advantage of turnover after turnover by the Baltimore Ravens. The Vikings now lead at 35-14. Vikings needed to average 33 points per game in their final 3 games to get the point scoring record in the NFL.
Here's the post. It's a zone. They busted the coverage. And Starks turned it over thinking that the Corey Harris would get there quicker. He did not get there.
What do you mean by busted the coverage?
They made a mistake. That's a mental error with young people. You got young people in the secondary, and I can't tell you because I wasn't in the huddle, but either Starks busted it or Corey Harris did. I don't know which one.
Look at that great list. Chris Carter now with 100 career touchdowns. Ties Franco Harris for 11th all-time. Chris Carter with 99 touchdowns receiving and 1 on a fumble recovery. He now has 820 career receptions, 4th all-time. He just passed Steve Largent.
And what's amazing, the coach had him not practice one time this week, trying to get him well. He said he had a walkthrough, but he never did anything physically, never ran, never jogged, and the coach was just trying. Dennis Green saying, we hope we can get you well. So big number 80 there never had to run or do anything in practice.
He looks pretty well to me.
Well, I think the coach was smart. Just get him well. He doesn't need to practice in the middle of the year. He needs to get well. Ball fell down. Here comes the official running out.
Yeah, the wind has picked up. The rain has started to fall here at Ravens Stadium. And Mitch Berger cleans out the cleats.
That's Don Hacks, the official, saying, you get one more fall down, wind the clock, watch Don run off. Don's got good quickness.
Rain falling here in Baltimore.
At least it's not snowing. Last week we were in Arizona. It could have snowed on us.
You're right about that. Berger, boy, he's gotten a workout today, hasn't he? Corey Harris at the goal line. Harris is hit and brought down. Good coverage. Harold Morrow, the backup fullback, with a strong hit. And the Vikings have really shut down the Ravens on the kick returns after the early touchdowns. Ravens, that's Michael Jackson, one of their top receivers. He is in uniform today, but has not been used. He has been inactive the previous 2 games with a sprained ankle.
I was at practice, Sam, and he made a great catch in practice, so I thought Michael Jackson would play. I thought he ran good in practice.
Priest Holmes. Short pickup. Make that Eric Rett, who just came into the game replacing Priest Holmes, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Eric Rett, 50-year man, picked up in a trade from Tampa Bay. Played 4 years with the Buccaneers. They expected him to be the feature back, and Coach Marchibroda said that Priest Holmes just passed him this season.
Priest Holmes can make a longer run, where Eric Rett is a good 4-yard, 5-yard bang guy. The guy can just bang it in there, and they're trying to hit longer plays with Priest Holmes.
Scrambling and throwing completes to Floyd Turner. 5th catch of the game for Floyd Turner, up to 46. That's a first down for the Ravens. Good play by Harbaugh. Seems to be at his best when he's scrambling.
Good point. He always had that reputation, even when he was in Chicago. I used to tell my teams, don't flush him. Try to just hem him up. If you flushed him, he'd go make a play on you.
With all the turnovers, Minnesota has had the ball and dominated time of possession and the offensive plays. First down, Baltimore at their own 46. Eric Rett finds a hole, gets across midfield. Good pickup on first down by Eric Rett. Word from the Baltimore locker room is that James Jones, who went off a little while ago,
defensive tackle,
right? He's got a sprained knee, and he is being X-rayed.
And you saw Eric Rett there, Sam. He has that burst, and he's not going to go a long distance, but it reminds me of Leroy Horde, that type of runner.
First 2 years in the NFL, he rushed for over 1,000 yards.
About 4 yards at a time. No long runs.
Harbaugh completes to Floyd Turner. Turner ridden down at the 40-yard line by Corey Fuller, but the 6th catch of the game for Floyd Turner, who's played well.
And what a cleanup by Ed McDaniel. Ed McDaniel's the middle linebacker. They threw the ball back in behind him, and this is why Minnesota can play. They can run. Watch the middle linebacker. There's the throw. Watch from the other side of the screen. Right there is 58. He was all the way up on the line of scrimmage when the ball was thrown.
Hey, the Ravens have moved down the field and haven't fumbled the ball.
Well, don't jinx him now. Don't say anything. You know.
Rett down to about the 36-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. John Randall made the tackle. Talked about Eric Rett when he started out with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. See the yards his first 2 years. Then he had that contract holdout, remember?
Yeah, he sure did.
I think that really hurt him.
It did. He hasn't really had the opportunity since that contract holdout to be the featured guy.
Ball spotted just across the 36-yard line. Rett and Potts in the backfield with Jim Harbaugh. Eric Rett cuts back, and he is met by the middle of the Vikings defense. Wayne Rudd leading the way. Number 57. Fine linebacker. Good speed in the linebacking core for the Minnesota Vikings.
That's their strength. Watch Rett. This is why he's not playing much. This means cut immediately. Cut. He doesn't see it. A little rusty. And he bangs into his own guard. And I think if you play all the time, he makes that cut faster and better back to the left.
Did some wrestling in high school. Good athlete.
Yes, sir.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 7. Harbaugh. Blitz was picked up. Completes to Floyd Turner. First down at the Vikings 25-yard line. Robert Griffith brought down Floyd Turner, who's becoming the offensive force for the Ravens. 7 receptions in the game.
A little blitz after Harbaugh, and a nice job. Watch 32. And that's Eric Rett. Didn't he do a nice job? He dumps the linebacker right on his back. So Eric Rett not playing often, but playing well when he's in there.
Deepest penetration of the game for the Ravens. 7 catches, 78 yards for the 9th-year man out of Northwestern State in Louisiana, Floyd Turner. Harbaugh being rushed. Trying to get away from John Randall. Gets rid of it, takes a hit. The ball in the end zone's out of bounds. Incomplete. Turner says he had it, but he was flying out of bounds. But good effort by Turner.
And a good effort by Harbaugh. Harbaugh having a hard time getting up. And you call it, being chased by John Randall. We've all seen those commercials where John Randall is chasing a chicken and he ends up with the chicken on the grill. He was trying again. Oh, wow. Alexander, what a hit.
Derek Alexander.
Man, that's why you get paid a lot of money to be a quarterback, to take hits like that.
Here's 2nd and 10 for the Ravens. Potts shifting. Draw play to Eric Rett. And he's brought down across the 20-yard line by Corey Fuller.
Guess what, Sam? Rett can play.
Running the ball pretty well.
Yeah, he hasn't played much, Eric. Rett can play. He moves the sticks. He moves the ball. There's no minuses. There's no negatives. And he hasn't, don't say the word, fumbled.
27-year-old Eric Rett, 5th year out of Florida. Originally a 2nd-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 10th play of the drive for the Baltimore Ravens, their longest possession of the game. Pressure on Harbaugh, throws it away. He was hit as he threw. And a flag comes in.
He's asking for pass interference. Harbaugh knows the rules. He says, where's the flag? What are you doing?
Jerry Markwright's going to hit him with intentional grounding.
He's hollering, Rudd's hooking the tight end. He's hollering that Dwayne Rudd had a hold of his tight end. This is Gerke. Gerke's talking to, that's Terry Gerke, 72. He's trying to explain things to Markwright. Now they're going to talk about it.
There's no grounding on the play. There's no foul for intentional grounding.
Thank you, Jerry. I think that's the right call.
I do too, but what Harbaugh was saying is his tight end was being grabbed and held by Dwayne Rudd. There's his tight end, Big Eric Green. There's 57 Rudd. No, he didn't hold him. He just banged him. As long as that was in the 5 yards. Now, if it was deeper than 5 yards, that's not legal.
And Harbaugh got hit by Dwayne Clemens. That caused that bad pass into the ground. Here's 4th down, 4th and 5 for the Ravens.
Shotgun.
Just across at the 20-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Harbaugh steps up and gets rid of it to Floyd Turner. It's complete for a 1st down across the 10-yard line. Harbaugh got to the line of scrimmage, very close to coming across, but got rid of it to Turner.
And now they look like a football team because they're not turning the ball over. One thing Harbaugh will do, he'll go improvise. That's his strength. Now he's on the run. Look at his eyes. He still finds a guy. Finds a man, old Floyd, guy from Indianapolis Colts, same place Harbaugh was at.
Yes, sir. 8 catches in the game for Floyd Turner. On 1st down, Eric Rett trying to cut back. It's a couple of yards.
And we asked the Vikings about getting ahead like they did last week against Chicago, and then all of a sudden they lose their intensity to play. And it was Corey Fuller says, we get way out front, and it's just hard to keep concentrating. And maybe a little bit that's creeping in again with this score 35-14. But I don't want to take anything away from the Ravens. When you throw and catch that well, it's hard to stop.
See where the Ravens are in the red zone.
The other one came in. I'm watching.
Roosevelt Potts and Priest Holmes in the backfield. 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line. Everybody out. Harbaugh throws and completes inside the 5-yard line to Priest Holmes.
A lot of short passes here. Sam, I think if you're going to throw it to the 2, you might as well go another 3 yards. If he catches it, you got a touchdown. I watched him in practice, and I thought I went away saying, you know, where's the deep balls? Why doesn't the ball go down the field? I watched practice. Practice kind of cold. I missed you there, but
without Jermaine Lewis, you miss your deep guy. Jermaine Lewis is your main deep guy.
And Michael Jackson.
Here's 3rd and goal at the 3. Eric Rett is back in. Priest Holmes has come out. Harbaugh, short drop, throws behind James Rowe. Rowe was covered on the play by Jimmy Hitchcock.
Well, now we'll go for our 2nd 4th down try on this drive.
Rain coming down harder now. in Baltimore. Dennis Green looks on. And Jim Harbaugh gets the call from Don Strock on the sideline. 3 wide receivers in for Baltimore. Here's 4th and goal at the Minnesota 3-yard line.
He's not in the shotgun, so they got the threat of the run.
Johnson and Turner left. Shane throw to the right. Harbaugh looking for Rowe. Incomplete. And Rowe wasn't even in the end zone. He was looking for Rowe all the way.
Excellent point. If he would have caught it, Sam, it still would be a turn the ball over on downs.
Ravens come close, come up empty. 6 Central on Fox. Cunningham on first down, throwing and completing to Randy Moss across the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Well, that's different, Sam. They're ahead 35-14. They're on their own 2-3-yard line. They don't care. They come in and throw deep downfield over the middle. Not afraid to keep playing.
All right, let's talk MVP candidates. You like Randall Cunningham?
I think it's a tie between him and Randy Moss. Both on the same team.
Randy Moss is not your average rookie. He has been just spectacular. He made such a difference in this offense. Leroy Horde, good hole. It's up across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
I think when Leroy gets on AstroTurf, he's not any faster. But a lot of players, when they get on grass, get a little bit slower, and Leroy stays the same speed. And he looks awful quick today because some of the other players slow down on a bad track.
They expect to have Robert Smith, their leading ball carrier. He's over 1,000 yards this season. Back for next week's game. Minnesota will be home against Jacksonville. The Vikings finish up the season with 3 games against AFC teams. The Ravens finish up with 3 games against NFC teams. Here's Horde. Across the 30 to the 31. Time to return to JB at the Fox Television Center for an NFL update. JB.
Remember that you can catch all the scores and news of all our games on Sky Sports by checking out the Sky NFL internet page at www.sky.co.uk/NFL.
Thanks, JB. Dallas hurting, and they need a win to clinch the NFC East. Arizona's still alive. Arizona winning in Philadelphia today.
Dallas having a hard time, Sam, playing anybody that runs a pressure defense and comes up the middle, and they hit 2 in a row with New Orleans and Kansas City.
On first down, Cunningham throws it and completes to Chris Carter. Oh, boy. Dwayne Starks with a good hit on Chris Carter, who continues to add to his personal records.
Well, Starks is playing off. Look at the distance. So he has to be awfully good. Look how far he has to drive the route. He had to drive the route 6 full yards, but wow, what a whack.
And no signs of any leg problems for Chris Carter this afternoon. 8 catches, 54 yards. He left the game early last week with a calf injury.
You know what? I'd pull him out the 4th quarter this week. Say, I'd put him down, let him rest again at 35-14.
A minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Leroy Horde, his 18th carry of the game. It's up to the 39-yard line. A little short of a first down.
How much short? How much short, Sam?
Oh, it's about 2 yards short.
That much?
Yeah. Might be more, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Almost 3, huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give me a link reading.
No. David Palmer has come in, along with Matthew Hatchett, 3 wide receivers for the Vikings. 6 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Sorry,
Palmer's not good on blitz pickup, so he'll probably go out into a pattern.
Bulware on the left side down as a down lineman. The throw is complete to Matthew Hatchett. It's a first down for the Vikings. Up to the 44-yard line. Randall Cunningham using his 3 receivers. Hatchett coming in on 3rd down situations.
And Palmer clearing it out with that diagonal route, taking away the underneath coverage.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The Minnesota Vikings lead the Baltimore Ravens 35-14. Fox NFL Sundays continues after a word from your local Fox station. Touchdown!
Coming out of the head. I don't know which looks worse, that cheese on the head or those horns coming out of your head.
Well, we'll wear it and figure it out. Cunningham under pressure, just lofted it up, and it's underthrown and intercepted by Dwayne Starks.
Well, that was a terrible throw.
Yeah. Cunningham was about to be hit, and he just let it fly for Randy Moss, but Dwayne Starks steps in front and intercepts. Fifth interception of the season for the rookie Dwayne Starks and the Ravens from their own 23-yard line. Kenyon Cotton, number 23, is in at fullback. Eric Rett, the running back, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Eric Green.
We said Randall had an ugly pass right before we went to the commercial. Watch the pressure after the quarterback. Both sides, front and back, and he's sort of throwing it and then trying to get out of the way. And look at this underthrow. Woo, that was a bad throw. Looked like a major league pop-up. Could have maybe made a fair catch signal on that one.
Good job of adjusting by Dwayne Starks. 17 interceptions this season for the Baltimore Ravens. Starks with his fifth. Cotton and Red in the backfield. Harbaugh, open man, and he completes up to James Rowe up at the 35-yard line. A first down for the Ravens.
And a rhythm throw. Harbaugh back. As soon as his back foot hit the ground, ball fired out of there. And the score got out of hand, and they looked like a football team with it 35-14.
If you joined us late, the Ravens actually led in this game early thanks to 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. One by Corey Harris of 95 yards, and the other by Patrick Johnson, 97 yards. And the Vikings kept forcing turnovers and turning them into points. Harbaugh with time. And he completes to Floyd Turner across midfield. Turner's had a big game.
And Harbaugh held the ball a long time.
Yeah.
So he just, no pressure. So he hung on the ball, waiting for the route to get open. Going against Jimmy Hitchcock. Jimmy's running out, turned his hips. He was just playing for a deep ball only. Good hit by Dixon Edwards, linebacker, going all the way out there. We lost some lights.
Yeah, if the field looks dark to you, don't adjust your TV sets right here. Some lights have gone out of the stadium. There you see some lights still on and some lights have been turned off. Somebody flipped the switch. We'll try and find out what's going on. Change the fuse, Jerry. Vikings lead at 35-14. We'll be right back. Jim Harbaugh waiting for the lights to come back on. You look at the scores by quarters here in this game. Minnesota 12, 13, and 10.
Have gone out.
And all season long,
Both
the Vikings
teams
have put up points in every quarter. And Jerry Marchwright just announced both teams have agreed to continue the game despite the fact that some of the lights have gone out.
Well, the Ravens should have refused to keep playing and said, we'll start over again tomorrow.
This is
We'll
like
play
going
on
back
Monday
to
night.
high school football. Not too much lights on the field, but the guys love to play. That's Turner in motion.
They'll look faster now, Stan. There won't be as much light. You won't be able to see.
Eric Rett trying to get outside. No gain on the play for Eric Rett. Corey Fuller made the tackle. Now the Vikings, who lead the NFL in points scored, look at this. Every quarter, they've scored over 100 points. Only team in the NFL to do that. They have been balanced throughout. They're explosive, and they're closing in on the NFL record for points, which is 541, held by the Washington Redskins. Ball at the Vikings 47. Harbaugh gets time. Now he's pressured. No one was open. Harbaugh keeps it alive.
Flags everywhere.
He's knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line, and we'll check out the flags.
Well, I think the Ravens are going to want pass interference, but I think when the quarterback scrambled and got outside that pocket, then the receiver can be pushed and shoved.
And one of the officials, the head linesman, has been knocked down on the play. It's Terry Gerke.
Oh, I know Terry. We don't want Terry hurt. He's been doing this for a long time.
Oh, boy.
And he's a good one. I noticed today he had on brand new glasses, so I thought he'd be real good. There's the scramble. Oh, he got caught.
Yeah, Dwayne Rudd caught him as he rolled out of bounds.
He was trying to jump, too. I saw him get both feet off the ground. That's how they're coached, to get their feet off the ground when there's a pileup.
Illegal contact foul. Number 27, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on Corey Fuller.
He was on James Rowe.
Yeah,
that's no good.
That's a good call.
Yeah, good call.
We'll step out for a moment as official Terry Gerke is being tended to along the sideline.
Good official for a long time. Lives out in Seattle, Washington.
If you're just joining us, don't adjust your TV sets. We are short on some lights. A couple of banks of lights have gone out. The teams have agreed to keep playing. And Harbaugh throwing deep. Wide open is Turner. He's got it, and he is in. Touchdown. 10th reception of the game for Floyd Turner, who has been outstanding. 42-yard touchdown pass from Jim Harbaugh to Floyd Turner.
And looking at the coverage, the corner, let's see if the corner fell down. That's Corey Fuller, or if he was expecting help. He expects the safety over the top. This is cover 2. He looks now. Where are you, safety? 27, Fuller had the flat, and he thought the safety was going to take him deep, and you could tell it. Where are you? Where are you?
At Stover, they dropped the ball, and Stover is buried. So the extra point is no good. The Vikings have a 35-20 lead after the Ravens score the Turner touchdown. 10 catches, 147 yards for Floyd Turner. The 10 receptions ties a career high for him. He has had back-to-back 100-yard games. He was 108 yards last week, and a great game for Floyd Turner. 3 straight games in which he's caught a touchdown.
No shift yet for an onside kick.
You think there'll be an onside try? The Vikings have 6 men up, actually 4 men at the 40-yard line and 2 about 7 yards beyond that. Let's see what Stover does here. And Stover kicks it away. David Palmer at the 5. Palmer with a little cut. Flag comes down.
New flag.
2 more are in there. Palmer got up to the 24-yard line. We've gotten a few more lights back.
I see lights coming on at the top.
Yeah, here they come, Jared.
Well, you know why? You finally unplugged your razor.
Holding number 52 on the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Kylie Wong called for the hold on the Minnesota Vikings. Will push them back. Vikings on offense when we come back. Something special for you on Saturday. It begins at 3:30 Eastern with a pregame show, 12:30 Pacific. Tampa Bay at Washington. Fox NFL special Saturday afternoon. The Bucs aiming for a playoff spot in the NFC.
Well, get your neighbors and tell your neighbors no Christmas shopping this Saturday. Too good of a football game.
Cunningham handing off to Leroy Horde. Leapfrog over 1 man. He got up to the 14-yard line. Ray Lewis made the tackle on Leroy Horde.
If Ray Lewis can get the other 2 young linebackers, he's in the middle.
Right.
If he can get the other 2 young ones, Bulware and Sharper, to play like him, this could become a dominant defense.
Jerry, you know what's wild about this? This is actually a game that the Ravens could get back into with a big stop here.
And 2 touchdowns, and they're right in the football game. Go for a 2-pointer.
Cunningham completes to Hunter Goodwin, the tight end, gets across the 20 up to the 22-yard line. Dwayne starts with the stop. Dallas has scored a touchdown to get back in that game at Kansas City. Big win for Seattle over San Diego. Seahawks get back to 500.
Close one for the Bears.
They had the lead in that game. Atlanta 12-2. What a year for the Falcons. Arizona, very important win as they battle for a playoff spot.
That one was in overtime. I thought Philadelphia would win that one. And the Redskins, they're hot.
David Palmer is the lone setback. 3 wide receivers in for the Vikings.
Nobody back there.
Palmer goes in motion. Short drop, complete for Matthew Hatchett. And he pulls his man up to the 39-yard line. Dwayne Starks had a hold of Matthew Hatchett, and Hatchett just kept dragging him.
And again, Starks plays off quite a ways, which gives you the instant quick throw, the 3-step. Look how far off they are. And when you're off 7-8 yards, that little turnaround hitch, you got to make the tackle and try to get the ball out. He couldn't get him down.
Some of the added strength we talked about with Matthew Hatchett that he worked on. Up at the 39-yard line, first down for the Vikings. Evans and Horde in the backfield. Wide receivers, Chris Carter and Randy Thomas. Here comes the blitz from Boulware. Horde goes the other way and gets up to the 42-yard line. Don't forget, tonight on Fox, after an all-new World's Funniest, celebrate Christmas Simpson style. Then that 70s show and an all-new Christmas episode of The X-Files. It all starts 7, 6 Central on Fox.
I'm proud that you've been offered that guest appearance on The X-Files.
I'll be there anytime they want me.
Yeah, he's not a speaking part, but he will be the man with the blue feet because you got frostbite over there at the Arizona game.
Ball across the 41-yard line. Leroy Horde, the lone setback. 2 tight ends in, and it's Hunter Goodwin shifting. Boulware on the blitz. Pass intended for Randy Moss, too high. Randy Moss, you may have heard him on the pregame show with Pam Oliver today, said he told his friends before the season ever started, he said his goals were to be in the Super Bowl before his career was over, go to the Pro Bowl, and when his career was over, have $100 million in his bank account.
Wow. Well, he's probably the last one he'll probably get first. I'm kind of mad here at Dennis Green. He didn't go over and tell his offensive coordinator, run this football, bang it on in there. Here they are, throwing every down.
They are, and he hits back to Hatchett. Hatchett is taken down across the 35-yard line. Ray Lewis caught up, but another good connection between Randall Cunningham and Matthew Hatchett. 24-yard pickup.
Watch the throw. Randall's laughing when this play is over because the corner is bailing out, and the inside slant is about as easy as it gets.
6 receptions in the game for Matthew Hatchett. His best day as a pro.
Let's see if they'll run now, Sam. 1st and 10. They have to run that football. Come on.
2 tight ends in there. Cunningham has thrown 49 passes in the game. Leroy Horde cuts back. Here's the run you wanted. It's a 5-yard pickup. Right now, let's go back to JB at the Fox Network Center for an update. JB. Listen, that one getting back into it, actually, after being down 17-3. Right here, 2nd and 5 for the Vikings on the Baltimore 30. Randy Moss in motion. Horde, no hole. Good job. Ray Lewis. Who else? If I say Ray Lewis 10 times, I'll be right at least 9.
And I think Leroy Horde will be mad at himself because he said, my goal is not to dance, to just be sure I'm going to get one. And of all things, Leroy danced on this, and you don't want to dance against Ray Lewis. Tries to cut back, and there's Ray right in the hole. Good tackle. Ooh, nice cleanup in there, too, by that safety Moore. 27 got in on it.
15 tackles in the game for Ray Lewis, the man who leads the Ravens in tackles. Chris Walsh, the 3rd wide receiver, picks up the blitz. And wide open is Randy Moss, and he's got a first down. He knew where the sticks were, and he's out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
When they don't need a lot of yardage, they know the corners are so far off of the Ravens that they can throw the quick out or the quick hitch because they're running like a 9-yard cushion with the corners. They're worried about defending the deep pass, so the short pass is there.
Randall Cunningham has thrown 50 passes. He is over 300 yards for the 4th time this season and 16th time in his career. Leroy Horde, the lone setback. Work outside to Carter. Gets to the 20-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. Rod Woodson on the tackle. And it's all mostly passing.
Yeah,
an occasional run by Leroy Horde.
Well, I'm disappointed in that. I think that'll run it, but they see this. When you're that far off, you're going to stand up and throw it. But I think Dennis Green has to go down and tell his offensive coordinator, we're not worried about passing stats. Let's go chug the football. Go run a little bit. Bang it up in here.
Is part of it, Jerry, take what the defense is giving you, though?
Well, he's not audible in these, so they're being called, Sam. If I saw audible, I'd say yes, but he's not audible.
No gain in there. And part of the fact also is, don't forget, Baltimore's interior defense is pretty strong.
But those 3 linebackers very strong.
Larry Webster made the stop. Peter Boulware was there as well.
Watch the Ravens on this tackle. Watch how many people get after the ball carrier. 52, 58. Boulware following Ray Lewis.
Ball is spotted at the 21-yard line. 3rd and 6 for the Vikings. 3 wide receivers in. David Palmer, the lone setback. The rush is on. Complete to Chris Carter. Third down reception of the game for Carter. It's a first down inside the 10.
Soft zone, Sam, just going down, turning in. As long as they play off, Randall Cunningham's going to keep throwing these short possession passes. Look at, nobody's in the middle. It's down there like a mirage. He just breaks to the outside, and Rod Woodson had the inside cuts. They had nobody on the outside cut.
Randall Cunningham, 9 for 15 on 3rd down, picking up 8 first downs. 1st and goal for the Vikings. Charles Evans inside, 13th play of the drive. Picked up about a yard on the play. For Baltimore on defense, James Jones, who went out with a sprained knee, is back in there. But Tony Saragusa is out. Larry Webster has replaced him.
And they played the run pretty good without Tony. And Tony's the big run stopper. That last run again was off that option series they had. So they were faking the option, which they've run twice.
Vikings have controlled the ball for about 8 minutes. They have the ball. 2nd and goal. Just inside the 8. That's Carter in motion. Throw outside is low and incomplete, intended for Randy Moss. Cunningham was being rushed on the play and got rid of it a little early.
Yeah, he not only got rid of it, he turns around. He's been doing this all day. Watch him throw the football and then immediately turn his back to the blitz. He'll throw and turn. Doesn't want to get hit in the face. Oh, that's about a, I don't know, 5.6 somersault. I'll give him a 5.
Here's 3rd and goal for the Vikings. 12 for 20 on 3rd down. Randall Cunningham, 52 passes in the game. Right now, a timeout has been called by the Vikings with 3:37 to go in the 4th quarter. The Vikings leading 35-20. On Fox, the world's funniest, followed by The Simpsons Christmas Style, that 70s show, and then Christmas edition of The X-Files. All starts immediately following. NFL on Fox. Randall Cunningham with 53 passes in the game.
53 passes.
Charles Evans, the lone setback. He is 30 for 53. This is 3rd and goal for the Vikings. Walsh in motion. Cunningham with time. He completes to Randy Moss, but he doesn't get in. He is hauled down at about the 2-yard line. Ralph Staten, the first man to tackle him.
A field goal right now, Sam, is pretty big because a field goal makes you have to go for 2 twice. So a field goal here.
No, actually, a field goal makes it a 3-score game.
Right.
They'd have to score 3 times.
Well, that's why I think, you play it safe here. You kick this field goal. And it takes you out of 2 touchdowns, takes you out of 2-point plays, right?
That's right. They'd have to score 3 times.
So a field goal really about locks this thing up.
Gary Anderson is 5 for 5 in the game. He set an NFL record for consecutive field goals made, and he just adds to it. And that ties his career for a game with 6 field goals. 6 for 6 in the game, 29 for 29 this season, and 34 for his last 34, an NFL record. Turnovers have been a big factor in this game, as the Minnesota Vikings have taken advantage of fumbles.
First play of the game there, Sam. This is their second offensive play.
There's a return, fumble by Corey Harris. Fumble snap. Priest Holmes, second fumble. And after that, they took him out of the game.
Yeah, they went with Eric Brett, and then an interception against a sagging zone corner.
5 fumbles by Baltimore, 1 interception. Dennis Green now with a comfortable 38-20 lead as his team closing in on their 13th win of the season.
Well, we want to tell all you kids out there, every football player's got on a helmet. It's cool to wear a helmet. If you're skateboarding, if you're riding your bicycle, be safe, wear a helmet. It's cool to put the helmet on the head. Don't get injured.
Berger kicks off. Here is James Rowe with his first return of the game. And he is down across the 30-yard line. Corey Harris had a touchdown return. And James Patrick. James
had a long stride there, didn't he? He looked like
Patrick Johnson with a return for a touchdown along with Corey Harris. And coming up next on Fox is The World's Funniest and The Simpsons, followed by That 70s Show and The X-Files. Priest Holmes, the lone setback. Harbaugh working out of the shotgun. Harbaugh gets rid of it and completes to Eric Green, the tight end. And McDaniel comes over to touch him down. Harbaugh waves everybody up in the no-huddle offense with 2.5 minutes to go in the game.
Well, they're all substituting. And the Vikings got a little confused in substitution. They have their nickel in there. The Vikings had 12 men on the field. Viking substitution, Sam, did not get off the field.
Okay, the flag goes in. Harbaugh went down, and I think you picked it up. Jerry Mark right in his 23rd and final NFL season.
23 years, you got to take your hat off. I wouldn't put myself through that aggravation for 23 days, let alone 23 years.
Signal being made. Officials talk it over, and Jerry will give us the call.
Gaines Fisk was trying to
There
get
are
off the
two
field.
fouls, both on the defense. 12 men on the field and penalties declined.
James Fisk running off
Personal
the field.
foul, roughing the passer, number 93, defense.
John Randall.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Taking John Randall's, and Fisk didn't sprint all the way off. He used to make me mad. He quits running to get off, and that's a penalty. And then Randall's, oh man, that's a heavy hit late.
Now, you knew the guy was going to the sideline. It was about 2 strides from the sideline. He wasn't involved in all, but you don't give him any free pass on that.
No, there's no, excuse me. You can't turn around and say, just joking.
They have put the ball inside the Vikings' 20-yard line. The reception was made by James Rowe.
So the penalty went on, tacked on after the
on
reception.
the 15 yards on the personal foul. So the Ravens with a first down just inside the 20-yard line. 2:15 remaining. Priest Holmes gets outside, inside the 10, inside the 5, and out of bounds at the 2. 18-yard run by Priest Holmes, his best of the game.
Well, he's allowed to do that because they're going against the nickel and they're doubling the wide receivers, talking about the Vikings defense. So the wide receivers are doubled, Sam, so he breaks out of it. There's nobody here to the weak side. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Then finally, they're trying to chase him down.
Vikings defense giving up some yardage and some points late after getting the big lead. Led 35-14. Here's Holmes for the touchdown. Priest Holmes with back-to-back runs takes it in. And the Ravens
Go for two.
haven't given it up.
And they got to go for two and onside kick it.
With 2:06 remaining, the Ravens come down in a hurry and score the touchdown. 4 plays, 69 yards,
Wow.
45 seconds.
And the penalty was the big one, wasn't it, Sam?
Yes.
They got the completion, and they tacked 15 yards on against John Rendell for hitting the quarterback late.
Going for two with 3 wide receivers in. Harbaugh looking, throwing, and it's good. Floyd Turner with the reception and makes it 38-28. It's a 10-point game
and now,
with 2:06 to go.
The onside kick, Sam. Get your hands team ready. Get all your DBs if you're with the Vikings, and try to recover this onside kick.
Floyd Turner's had a good game for the Ravens. Jim Harbaugh has had to bring his team from behind. They've been way down, and all the mistakes early hurt the Ravens' chances in this game. Today's game was produced by Jeff Gowan, directed by Joe Assetti.
I like Jeff Gowan.
Yeah.
I like Joe Assetti. That's
okay.
good. Been with him 5 years, the best in the league.
Associate Director is Ray Smaltz. You like him?
I like Ray.
Our broadcast associate, Jacob Ullman. He's the best.
Jake's a snake. He's known all over Arizona.
Studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gordon and David Hill.
I like David Hill because he hires us and fires us.
Our statistician in the booth, Emmett McGuire. George O'Malley's our statistician in the control room. And Gary Lynn tells us who's on the field. He's our spotter.
Here's the onside kick. Look at the hands team. Here's all the people going for the football. On this side are all the Vikings defensive backs. There they are.
Chris Wallace, your man.
Didn't go 10 yards, did it? Doesn't have to.
That doesn't have to.
For him to recover it.
That's right. He just caught the ball.
All he's got to do, he can catch it anywhere he wants. To recover it, it's got to go over 10 yards.
Correct.
I like Walsh. Walsh is my favorite special teamer for the Vikings.
Here's the kick. Here's the hands guy.
Now get on it.
Didn't take that big bounce.
No.
That just bounced right into him.
Didn't get the bounce.
Good job by Walsh. Ball's at the Ravens' 38-yard line. Charles Evans and Leroy Horde in the backfield with Randall Cunningham.
I don't think they'll throw this down.
You got it right. Leroy Horde pulls his way to the 35-yard line. 2-minute warning with exactly 1:58 on the clock. And the Vikings leading by 10. Permits, we're going to send you to Kansas City for the conclusion of the Dallas-Kansas City game. Pat Summerall and John Madden there. And then the world's funniest, The Simpsons, That 70s Show, and The X-Files. It's all coming up tonight, right here on Fox. Hey, I love those hats. Gary, we need to get those hats.
Yeah, we should wear Santa hats on our last game in Chicago on the 27th.
I got it. Leroy Horde struggles for a yard. Brings up third down. Timeout, Baltimore. Check if you joined us late. A lot of things happened. There were 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns
in the first quarter.
NFL record all in the first quarter. 2 by Baltimore, 1 by Minnesota. But the big number, Jerry, 6 turnovers for Baltimore. And Chris Carter, coming back from a calf injury, had a terrific game.
Would you look at it? Is that how you would do Baltimore ball?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know that.
I would put a T there, wouldn't you?
That's okay. And let's not forget Gary Anderson.
Wow.
6 field goals. And he set an NFL record for most consecutive field goals. He now has 34 consecutive and counting, dating back to last season. This season, he's 29 for 29.
All those Minnesota Viking fans better start ordering their Super Bowl tickets. They think they're going.
They're expecting to have the bye week, get Jake Reed healthy, have Brad Johnson ready as a backup. Robert Smith will be in the lineup next week against Jacksonville as they gear up for a run toward the Super Bowl. Cunningham to Chris Carter. And And down to the ground he goes at the 21-yard line.
Marked by Chris Carter. He just wanted to get a first down and then sit down and keep the clock running.
Randall's having a good time. He was telling us about his 2-year-old son. We were asking about how the family was. He said, you know what? My 2-year-old son had a massage.
Amazing. 2 years old. He had a massage, a professional massage. I'm going to try to get one maybe next year.
And he
Be
said,
my first.
Daddy, this was pretty good. Massage, massage. Look at the numbers for Cunningham. 55 passes, 32 completions, 344 yards. Came into the game with a 111 passer rating. That's the third best rating all time.
Well, what that'll cause is his wallet will get a big massage next year.
Well, he hit the numbers, so he becomes, technically, he'll be a free agent at the end of the season.
He's played over 50% of the plays. His contract was written in that void next year's contract. And he said there's good and bad to that. He says the bad news is I don't have a contract for next year, but the good news, maybe he's played pretty good.
He does say he wants to come back to Minnesota. They've treated him well, but would he come back as a backup next season after this year?
They got two starters. What a nice place. What a nice feeling to have your team look around. You got 2 star quarterbacks on the same play.
Okay. Clock running down. One more play for the Vikings.
Nailed down.
And that's it. So the Minnesota Vikings go 13-1. They are tied with Denver for the best record in the NFL. Denny Green's team is gearing up for the playoffs. They have 2 more games remaining. Randall Cunningham, he just keeps adding to the numbers that make him a leading candidate for MVP.
I think the thing that he's doing now is he's throwing the ball on the money. In the beginning of the season, he was throwing it behind the great receivers. Now he's putting it right on them.
Vikings 38, Ravens 28. Let's take you to Kansas City for the conclusion of the Dallas-Kansas City game. Let's go to Pat Summerall and John Madden.